Good evening, everyone, from the campus of Copiah Lincoln Community College in Wesson, Mississippi. It's time for Sumrall Bobcat football. On YouTube, as the Bobcats come in for their second road game of the year already, they get ready for this one tonight and then head back home for the home opener against Sacred Heart next week. Both the Wesson Cobras and Sumrall Bobcats had quarterbacks that they are missing. Wesson because their quarterback last year graduated. Sumrall's because the starting quarterback was injured. And Billy Garrity actually joins us in the booth tonight. So he's going to get his first opportunity at color analysis, as I know he'd much rather be on the field, but the fact that he's with us tonight, we're glad to have him. And Billy is getting ready for this one tonight here at Colin. What do you remember about last year's win against Wesson at home?
It was my first game playing at quarterback after we changed the offenses. I remember it was a good game. They had a lot of speed that I'm sure they still have, but I think it was one of our better, well-rounded games from the year.
And both of these teams come in tonight really mirrors of each other. As Billy just mentioned, the Cobras did lose their starting quarterback, but the speed that accompanied this team they still have. And the Bobcats came off a terrific performance last week at the reservation in Ellisville, where they knocked off the 5A South Jones Braves. So the Bobcats will kick the football away. The Cobras won the toss and elected to receive. That's kind of old school thinking. Nowadays, most teams defer to the second half, but the Cobras want to use that offense to maybe get going. They had a rain-shortened game last week against Crystal Springs. The Cobras led that game 8-0 in the second quarter before they finally called it because it got so late in the night, and rain and lightning and thunder and all sorts of things that made it problematic for that game to continue. So the Cobras were credited with an 8-0 win, but still limited playing time because of the weather. Bryson Smith, the freshman kicker for Sumrall, will boot it away. As you see the Bobcats to our left in all white uniforms. Smith's kick is away, and it is taken by an up man at about the 15-yard line. Finding a seam, breaking right straight ahead. This is trouble for the Bobcats. Breaking away is Shamar Dickerson. Down the sideline, Dickerson goes all the way. No flags on the play, and the Bobcats give up a touchdown early as the Cobras run it all the way back for a six-pointer. Trouble already, Billy. That's not a good start. Not what the Bobcats were looking for.
Not the start we were thinking of.
Bryson Smith was the last guy that he had to beat, but Smith was kind of meandering in the middle part of the field, and streaking down the sideline was Dickerson, and there's no way that Bryson could catch him. So the Cobras draw first blood in a play that only took about 14 seconds off the clock. On to kick the extra point is Seth Cohn. He's the senior left-footed soccer stylist, but the Cobras are down a man, so they're going to have to wait for everybody to get into the place. Antrell Sims, the quarterback, is the holder. This placement is down. The kick is up. And the kick is no good. He missed it to the right. So with 11:46 left to go in the first quarter, the Cobras lead the Bobcats 6-0, and Sumrall will get the football to begin the game. We want to thank some of our sponsors that make the webcasts possible, including Sumrall Lawn Care. They are sponsoring the Red Zone visits this year for the Sumrall Bobcats. Also, State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple with our trivia question tonight. It deals, as always, with rock and roll, but top-selling albums is the subject to tonight. Our halftime show is sponsored by Grand Bank. And on the halftime show tonight, we'll feature Jeffrey Coulter, the director of the show choir at Sumrall High School. Mr. Coulter will join us at halftime. Also, Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue and Sumrall. They have the offensive and defensive players of the game, and Hattiesburg Children's Clinic, Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic, sponsor the post-game show to kind of recap the game and let you know where the Bobcats are headed from here. So 6-0, just like that, Sumrall down, and the Bobcats will look to get the football for the first time tonight, as Seth Cohn will kick it away as he awaits the whistle. The Cobras in their red, white, and blue uniforms, predominantly blue tonight, taken at about the 15-yard line. trying to find some room up the middle. Traffic kind of congested and down at about the 35-yard line or somewhere thereabouts. On the return for Sumrall's Gabe Cocroft. He was one of the captains tonight for Sumrall that went out for the coin toss. This, the home of the Co-Lin Wolves and the MACJC, projected to be one of the top teams in the country this year. The defensive coordinator for Co-Lin is William Jones, who's the former head coach at Pearl River. So here's Dennis Jackson and company. The Bobcats get to work here offensively. Last week, a good mix of run and pass and a victory over South Jones. Lights are already on here at Co-Lin. Jackson with a bad snap, or he couldn't hang on to the snap, rather. Had to go down to his shoes to get it, pulled it in, but then was dropped for a loss. Looks like Connor Diamond, the sophomore defensive back, came up to make the tackle there on Jackson. A loss of about 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 12. Very early on, Billy, but the Bobcats kind of look a little out of sort here, out of sync early on.
Yeah, we are struggling a little bit right now. Hopefully we can get it together.
Jackson tries to get a pass out into the flat up at about the 44-yard line. Cocroft was the intended receiver, but again, he took a lick from Connor Diamond. The pass is incomplete. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 now for the Sumrall Bobcats. You see Zane Berry there in a traditional number 1 number there. The Bobcats in all white. The Cobras, as we mentioned, in blue. Sumrall will see another team with a lot of blue next week when the Sacred Heart Crusaders come to Sumrall. It'll be the home opener for the Bobcats a week from tonight. So 3rd down and 12. Jackson looks to the sideline, has a man split to his left. Calls for the football. It's a perfect snap. Fakes the handoff. Little dump pass to Berry. Berry will now try to get outside. Gets away from one man. Cannot get away from the rest of the pursuit. Is dropped at about the 41-yard line, and the Rollcats look like they're about 6 yards short. And the punting unit will be deployed here for Sumrall early on, trailing 6-0 in this game. Good idea to let Zane Berry use those talented feet to get out of trouble. Did get away from the first wave, but brought down by other pursuit. Phillips in to kick it away now. Payne Phillips will plant at about the 30-yard line when he kicks it away. Bobcats were a man short. Coming in to help out is Tate Davis, the junior for Sumrall. Phillips gets the snap. It's a perfect snap. The kick is away. It's a wobbler that will be fielded on the run, or was he interfered with? I'm not sure. Was it touched by the Cobras? And a flag comes down, because if that receiver waved for the fair catch and was hit by one of the Bobcats, which it looked like he was, they didn't give him enough room. The beanbag was thrown, Billy, by one of the referees, so it looked like he was saying that the Bobcats had the football, but then the flag came down. So
I never saw him wave for the fair catch. I know you have to give him a chance to catch the punt before it hit the. It's a confusing play right there, but I don't think he called for a fair catch.
And if he didn't, he did touch the football, and then it was taken away by one of the Bobcats. But they have not. We don't have an official indication yet from the white hat referee, who will step out of that grouping right there at about the 21-yard line to give us the indication here on the press box side as to what the call is. But clearly the Bobcats think they're going to be on defense because they're out there waiting for the first down play. And if it is against Sumrall, it is against the Bobcats, so the Cobras are going to get some more yards on this play before they start 1st and 10. So an auspicious start for the men in white here. That's a 15-yarder against Sumrall. So a special teams gaffe there for the Bobcats. Cost them big yardage. And the Cobras have it 1st and 10. Working north to south or right to left, the way the football field is parallel to Highway 51 here on the campus in Wesson. Got to get the chains set on the far sideline, then play will get ready to resume. Really, the Cobras have not run an offensive play, even though leading 6-0. You remember they took the opening kick all the way back. Shamar Dickerson with an 80-yard kickoff return. But then the Cobras missed the extra point. So 1st and 10. They are led to the line by sophomore quarterback Antrell Sims, who also holds for place kicks. He's, as we mentioned, a sophomore, in for the graduated senior last year. Very quickly, Cole Daniels in to wrap up the runner, losing a yard on the play. Jaquavion Harris, the senior running back, was nailed behind the line of scrimmage. It won't be too hard, Billy, to pick out Cole Daniels tonight. I mean, not only is he a big dude, but you made a comment, he's got some fancy kicks on tonight.
Some bright orange cleats that he wore at practice the other day, and I was wondering why he was doing it. I guess he wants to stand out.
Or maybe he had a good practice and might be superstitious. 2nd down and 11. Handoff goes toward the right side. Nothing doing. It's Cole Daniels again in there to make the stop. He was also helped on the play there by Nick Eccles. Loss of another 2 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 13. So the Sumrall defense, which was highly touted before the season, is showing its teeth again here early on tonight. 3rd down and 13. Sims with plenty of time left on the play clock, 10 seconds. 4 down linemen for the Bobcats. They back it up with 3 linebackers rather. Sims rolls to his right, wants to throw, or will he run? There's a flag down on the play. He does try to run. He's hit and dropped short of the line to gain by Devin Goolsby. It's a gain of about 8 on the play, but remember they had to get about 12 or 13. Flag on the play here. If this is against the Cobras, you would think that the Bobcats would decline it. And usually, Billy, when that flag's thrown at the line of scrimmage, it's usually holding, yeah?
Holding or offsides. The referee also threw his hat. I'm not sure if he just lost it on the run or if he was trying to throw something for another penalty.
They're talking to the Sumrall sideline, so you would think this would be against the Cobras. Shannon White, the head coach for Sumrall, who also serves as the offensive coordinator. And again, no indication. One of the things I wish the referee would do is make the indication first and then talk to the coaches so that everybody else knows what's going on. I bet they're going to decline it, Billy. What do you think?
That's what it looks like right now.
Oh, an ineligible man downfield and a block in the back. So they are going to decline it. Interesting here, though, because the Cobras do not have the punting team on the field. Now here they come. So they wanted maybe the Bobcats to think about that a little bit. Sumrall trailing 6-0. You see the time clock inserted in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Punting unit on for the Cobras. Kicking it away to the near side of the field is Connor Diamond. Diamond will not let Zane Berry make a return, and there's a penalty marker down. He might have gotten roughed. Diamond might have been roughed on the play, and if he is, it'll be another special teams mistake by Sumrall and give the Cobras the football.
Looks like they're headed back out there.
They did run into they roughed the kicker, did Sumrall, so the special teams play for Sumrall tonight has been pretty shaky, and this one's going to give the Cobras the football back. Oh, boy. So they'll have to reset the chains, and I have a feeling with this officiating crew, Billy, we might be in for a long night.
That's what it seems like. They're taking a long time to make the calls and
get the chains where they belong. It is a 1st down for the Cobras.
The Cobras back in business. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cobras from the Bobcats, 47-yard line.
Tough break for Sumrall, who trailed 6-0. The referee that made the call, his flag is still back here at the 32-yard line. I think you can see it on your screen there as the sun begins to disappear. The light's on in full force, and it looks like they'll take their heat time out. Or we're going to anyway, but now the officials say, no, let's get playing again. So Antrell Sims, a 5'11 sophomore. He's got Jason Edwards, another sophomore, split to his right, wing right. His senior, Shamar Martin. I don't know what the discussion is about on the far sideline, but goodness, there has already been a lot of time lapsed by the officials talking things over with coaches or having problems with the chains. That could be part of it too. Well, Billy, when we get a chance, I'm sure Bobcat fans want to know how you're doing. First of all, let us know.
Oh, well, I've been good. I haven't experienced too much pain. I've been getting around pretty good at school, and of course tonight and last week when I was at the game.
And you had surgery about a week or so ago, yeah?
It was the last Tuesday.
Okay. Here comes the blitz. They run the reverse, though, do the Cobras. Pitches to the near side, and it gets hit down to about the 45-yard line. Nice play there by Solly Landrum to upend the runner after a gain of about 2 on the play. As it turns out, it was Dickerson on the wide receiver reverse. A gain of a 2 officially. 2nd down and 8. Again, good lateral movement by Solomon Landrum. The Cobras have had the ball nearly the entire first quarter as we now get just south of 6 minutes left to go in the first frame. They are scheduled for a heat timeout here pretty quick. Handoff on the give and go again to the near sideline. Hit and dropped is Jason Edwards. Edwards taken down by Fairman for Sumrall. Another gain of about 2. It'll be on a 3rd down, about 6 upcoming. Cobras moving from north to south here on the field at Colin after taking the opening kickoff all the way back and missing the extra point. First special teams mistake by Sumrall was the kickoff return, and then they just ran into the kicker a minute ago, which gave the Cobras the football back again. 3rd down and 6. Sims out of the shotgun, calls for the football. It's a perfect snap, rolls to his right as you see, wants to throw, does across the middle, and it is caught. It's caught down at about the 35-yard line. Damian Smith, the junior wide receiver, makes the catch, and that's a 1st down for the Cobras at the Sumrall 36-yard line. Tell me about that play, Billy.
It seems like they're sticking to a rollout offense for all the passes. It probably gives him the opportunity where he could run or pass. It seems like he likes to run a lot. I guess they just beat him across the field for that, to beat him to catch that pass.
They just call that the old down and out in sandlot football, right? Just, okay, you go down and out and make the catch. Handoff over the left side. Dropped is Jason Edwards after no gain on the play against Solomon Landrum with a big tackle and flags all over the place. Again, at the line of scrimmage.
It seems lately they've had a few holding calls from what I could see that they've missed, but that might just be me. Or maybe they got one.
Well, if you're going to hold somebody, Solomon Landrum would be the guy to hold, but he's been all over the place defensively so far. He and Cole Daniels have been the anchors for this Sumrall defense. On the 1st down play, there was no gain, maybe even a loss. It is a hold against the Cobras.
Holding against the Cobras.
So Sumrall will take this penalty. Really, the only way that the Cobras have been slightly effective has been in the air.
About 20 from the Bobcats, 46-yard line.
7:01 left to go. That's 6. I thought it was a 6, but it was an 8 apparently. So my bad. You guys can see up there in the corner of your screen how much time is left in the first quarter. Cobras with single receivers to each side. Again, Sims out of the shotgun. Sumrall running the 4-3, rolls to his left, dumps it across the middle, and this ball is tipped and intercepted, but we may get an interference call against Sumrall. It looked like to me, and I hate to say it, Billy, but it looked like to me that Fairman actually hit the receiver a little bit before the ball got there.
He may have hit him a little bit early on that one. That's going to be a tough break.
And the ball was tipped consequently and then snagged by Ashanti Cocroft, but it is against Sumrall. That was the call. So another big play and a mistake by Sumrall here gives the Cobras another big gain.
Cobras from the Bobcats 30-yard line.
So that holding penalty was negated. It's actually a 1st and 5 now from the 30. Bobcats trying to stem the tide of the Cobras here and avoid going down by 2 touchdowns. Sims gives it right straight ahead. Big hole. Nice running room there the first time tonight for Jason Edwards. Gets down to the 20-yard line. That'll move the chains. No flag. Big hole over that right side. That's just a trap, right? Trap play over the right side. So the Cobras moving quickly here now.
Doing a good job of holding the ball this half.
Working the clock. On the give and go. The exact same play. This time the Bobcats stuff it. I think forward progress might have gotten him down to about the 19-yard line. Cole Daniels was in the middle of the mix there. Also helping out was Justice Hanberry. Hanberry will go off and get a breather. 2nd down and 8 after the gain of 2. Working from the far hash mark in front of the Sumrall bench. The Sumrall band in their powder blue t-shirts. They'll perform at halftime tonight. Calling for the snap. They go with the blitz. The handoff right up the middle. And because they ran the blitz, Sumrall picked it off. And Cocroft was there to nail him for no gain. Maybe a loss of 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 10. Good play by Cocroft there.
It's a good time to do the blitz right there.
Now another big defensive down here for Sumrall with 5:17 left to go in the first quarter. This officiating crew is really struggling tonight. Now they're getting the clock going. 3rd down. Sims has Edwards to his left. Sims wants to throw. Now flush from the pocket. Rolls to his left. Wants to run it. Does, but is brought down. No gain on the play. Maybe even lost a couple of yards. Cocroft again there defensively, along with some of his teammates, including Tate Davis, to bring him down. They actually lost 2, so it'll be 4th and 12.
It's a good job forcing them back into the other teammates you have right there.
Now here's where, a field goal might be in the offing, but the Cobras keep the offense in there. Maybe a hard count here, Billy, to get them to jump maybe and get 5 yards and then go for it on 4th. Nope, they go for it right away. Sims rolls to his right. Wants to throw across the middle. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but a flag comes down.
There's a flag in the play.
Looks like we should decline that one.
Yes, that's a hold. Of course, they will decline it, and because of that, Sumrall will take over. We'll be keeping you up to date on other scores on the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Other games involving Lamar County schools include Lumberton playing at Bay High down on the coast tonight. Oak Grove is playing at Wayne County. Purvis is playing at West Marion. So all of the Lamar County schools are on the road tonight. Again, Sumrall's home opener will be next week against Sacred Heart. We hope that you'll join us. 4 minutes, 9 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, and the heat timeout coming your way now. Kelly Sander along with Billy Garrity. I know, Billy, you'd much rather be on the field, but good to have you here tonight and get weight off of that leg so you can relax a little bit. In other district games tonight, in 7-4A, Perry Central is at Forest County AHS. Greene County is at George County, so the Rebels hosting the Wildcats in that one. Poplarville is at Pearl River Central. In another big rivalry game there, Lawrence County is at Brookhaven. So we'll keep you posted all year long on how the other teams in the district are doing, because the top 4 teams from the district go to the playoffs. Of course, Sumrall made the playoffs last year and was dispatched in the first round. So now the Bobcats, who really, for all practical purposes, haven't had the ball yet, with all this time gone in the first quarter, get it now. They did have it a series, but it was a rather nonchalant series. So they have it now on 1st and 10, buried to the far side of the field. Dennis Jackson on the give and go, right side. Some running room there for Tyreek Preston. Preston gets up to about the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 4 when the smoke clears. It'll be 2nd down and 6. So Sumrall certainly not panicking here late in the first quarter.
The Bobcats on their own 30.
Sumrall had some good spirited practices this week. Of course, morale sky high after that win at South Jones. Dennis Jackson has to try to make something out of nothing. That was a botched play.
Number 5 with the middle.
Did it look like that to you, Billy? That wasn't a straight quarterback draw.
I feel like it was more of a read play that just got kind of busted by the snap.
Brings up third down.
He did get something out of nothing. Got about 3 on the play, so it brings up a 3rd down and 1. Bobcats moving from south to north as it's laid out here, the home of the Wolfpack in Colin. Glad that you're with us here on YouTube. You can always text us and let us know where you're watching the game from at 601-310-7077. Preston looking for room left side, does get some running room. The ball comes loose. The ball was on the ground, but the whistles blow, and they say that Preston was down. It's a boy that dodged a bullet there.
The result of the play is the first down for the Bobcats.
Preston gets the first down, and the chains will move for the Bobcats. Their first down of the night. Again, text us and let us know where you're watching from tonight. 601-310-7077. We'll give you a shout out because we're glad that you are with us. And keep that number on file all season long. That'll be your way of getting in touch with us. 601-310-7077. It's a fresh set of downs for the Wildcats, who trail 6-0 with 2:35 left to go in the first quarter. The give and go again to Preston. The exact same play. Another 4 or 5 yard gain over left tackle.
Nice tough game.
So a very persistent Sumrall offense working now. John Failer in the lineup on that offensive line. So is Nathan Cano. Hayden Pedigo in there as well. 2nd down and 5. Jackson will roll this one himself, or will he pitch it in the reverse? He will run it himself, gets up to about the 50-yard line, is about 2 yards short.
Jackson's around the right side for a nice game before you take it down by number 2.
Under complete control of the lights here now, as we move our camera position a little bit toward this end of the field. We want you to be able to get a good look, but also see that time clock. The Sumrall Bobcats looking to open the season 2-0. And this is a team that has potential to really make some waves this year. This is the classes we've talked about for a long time, since 5th grade. A lot of these guys, people in Sumrall said, wait till these guys get to be seniors. Well, here they go on 3rd down. It's Preston who's bulldozing his way forward. Forward progress might have gotten him the first down. He didn't make it by much, but you don't have to. Tate Davis was leading the way. Also laying a block out there for him was James Ford.
47-yard line.
So it does move the chains to about the 40, let's call it the 47-yard line. With 1:10 and counting here in the first quarter. Glad that you're with us tonight from Colin in Wesson. The Bobcats against the Cobras. Jackson out of the shotgun. Perfect snap. Rolls to his left. Will he throw? He's got it out like he was going to, then pulled it back in and ran. Nice deke inside down to the 35-yard line. Robert Sutton is watching the game from his home tonight. Glad to have Mr. Sutton with us. Maybe he's out on that back porch cooking a steak or something, huh, Billy? That wouldn't be a bad deal.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah, indeed. Miss Anita Sumrall, the athletic director for Sumrall, watching the game tonight in North Alabama. She's in Sand Mountain, North Carolina, watching the game. That's the beauty of the internet. As there is time out on the field, obviously, you see that. With the waning seconds of the first quarter, just 47 seconds left to go. While we get a chance, we want to remind you that though fall is football season, the pros at Sumrall Lawn Service are busy every season. Whether it's mowing, edging, tree trimming, or bush hogging, Richie and Jim Sumrall have over 20 years of experience making your lawn be something you can be proud of. Like the Bobcats on the field, Sumrall Lawn Care knows what it takes to win and how to make your home landscape a winner. Sumrall Lawn Care salutes Bobcat Graham Freeman and wishes him luck this season. Proud supporters of the Bobcats, Sumrall Lawn Care, sponsors of the Bobcat Red Zone. Also checking in tonight, Go Jacob, love Mama and Aunt Tab watching the game tonight. Glad to have them with us. Got some other people checking in. We'll get to you in a moment. On first 10, it's Cocroft running to the right side. Inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. He got a little bit careless there with the football, kind of carrying it out there rather than tucking it under his arm. But they're watching, Jacob's Mama's watching the game in Sumrall. Glenn Allen, the father of Josh Allen, is watching from Midland, Texas. Midland, Texas, the home of former President George W. Bush, out there in the Permian Basin region of West Texas. Not far from Odessa Permian, that Friday Night Lights movie. Pass out into the left flat to Barry. Barry with some fancy footwork can only get forward, but does get the first down, it would appear, at about the 24-yard line. And that will end the first quarter of play. Christy Martin is watching from Folsom, Louisiana. Christy, a big Bobcat fan, and she followed me on Twitter last week, so glad to have Christy on my Twitter feed. You can follow me at Kelly J. Sanner on Twitter, and of course here on YouTube, the Sumrall Athletic page. We'll have all the games live for you. Your impressions, Billy, the first quarter?
It looks like we're moving the ball good with sticking to the run game. Not sure what's going on with the pass game. We're just deciding to run it more. Defense didn't look too bad. We just have to cut out the penalties.
And special teams have to tighten up a little bit. That's why they call them special teams, you know. I mean, they can help you or they can really kill you. And then tonight, as they move into the field, and we'll move with them, Bobcats will have a first down at about the 25-yard line. Just 5 yards away from the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. Sumrall returns home next week against Sacred Heart for the home opener. Hopefully we'll be talking about a 2-0 record. Preston to the left of Dennis Jackson. Twin receivers. To the left, they give it to Preston on the give and go. Dives forward for maybe a yard. He got hit nearly immediately on the play. Good defensive pursuit there by the Cobras' Scott Hutt, the junior outside linebacker. Maybe a gain of a yard. They love football, and the 601 just got an emoji text with a bunch of hearts and footballs. Jackson looking to the sideline as you see the Bobcats on the right side of your screen. Low snap, has to pick it up. If it gets flushed from the pocket, Jackson is in trouble and is dumped back at the 37-yard line. Damian Smith, the junior linebacker, just when it looked like the Bobcats were making some progress toward the end zone, a mistake there costs the Bobcats big, and it's 3rd down and 20 now, Billy Garrity. What do you call here on 3rd and 20? Just try to get some of the yardage back and go for the field goal, or what do you think?
You'd probably need to be about the 20, 25 for Bryson Smith to make the field goal. He's got a good leg, especially for how little he is. So it might be the call here to get some yards back.
3rd down and 20. Dennis Jackson on the give and go right straight ahead to Preston. He runs right into the teeth of the defense. Jaquavion Harris, senior cornerback, put the lick on him. It'll be 4th down and about 18 to go, maybe 15. Not quite to the 30-yard line, so 4th down play, kind of no man's land here for Sumrall. Not close enough to kick the field goal, but not far enough away to punt the football away. Maybe try that hard count, see if Cobras won't jump. Maybe get some yards, but they run it right away. It's a straight snap to Jackson. Tries to string out the defense, cuts it inside. Jackson down to the 20-yard line, but flags everywhere. And this will probably go against Sumrall, as there were some blockers out ahead of Jackson. But usually when flags are thrown while the run is taking place, it usually goes against the offense. Sumrall trailing 6-0 with about 10 minutes left to go. Here in the second quarter, it is a hold against Sumrall. But that was a 4th down play. They did get a lot of yardage on the play, but I think the Cobras want them to run it again so that they'll get better field position if the Bobcats don't execute as well as they did on that last one. It's not often that a team will take a penalty after a 4th down play, which would normally give them the football.
It doesn't look like bad field position for a punt right now. It's just in that area where it's hard to decide what to do.
What would you do, Coach Garrity? I think you just said it. You'd punt it away?
I'd probably punt it away, try and pin them inside the 10.
And look at here. The headset you're wearing must be directly connected to the sideline, because here comes the punting unit for Sumrall. So Payne Phillips may try to...
It looks like they might have accepted the penalty.
Looks like they did. So the defense, I thought it was the punting unit checking in, but it's actually the Sumrall defense. So the Cobras declined the penalty and took the football at the 20-yard line. I was going to say that was pretty unusual that you'd normally get the football on 4th down, but you'd make the team run a play. They didn't. The Cobras said they want it. So 1st and 10, going left to right or south to north. Again, this field parallel to U.S. Highway 51, which is just a stone's throw from here. 1st and 10, Sims at quarterback for the Cobras. Trip receivers to the far side of the field. Sims takes a low snap, but hands it off. Trying to string out the Sumrall defense is Jaquavion Harris, but he's not having any luck at all.
Harris around the left side.
Looks like he lost about 7 yards on the play. Good pursuit there by the Sumrall defense. Justice Hanbury's in the area.
Brings up 2nd down and 17 for the Cobras from their own.
Laying down the law, giving justice, if you will, to the Cobra offense. It is a loss of about 8 on the play. 2nd and 18. So the Sumrall defense once again flexing its muscles here. After essentially throwing the goose egg last week at South Jones, a kickoff return last week. Here's a late pitch to Damian Smith, who wiggles his way forward maybe for a couple. Not a very big gain there at all. And making the stop there for the Bobcats is Ashanti Cocroft, who's having him a game. In the secondary for Sumrall, Nigel Coleman, who had a terrific game last week with a touchdown, a interception, fumble recovery. He did just about everything last week. 3rd down and long. Sumrall again going with a 4-3. Sims on the delay, draw, but met right at the line of scrimmage and dropped again.
Harris in the middle for a short game.
Caden Greenwood looked like he pushed off of his blocker and went right toward the ball carrier and dropped him. So 4th and 13. The punting unit in here, and back to retrieve it will be Zane Berry. You see Zane in the far right side of your picture at about the 45-yard line of the Cobras. It's a good snap. Here comes the pursuit. They let the kicker away this time. Berry is going to let it go and roll inside the 40-yard line, or inside the 50-yard line, and they kill it at about the 43. So Sumrall will set up shop, 1st and 10, trailing 6-0 with 7:54 left to go before halftime. And again, coming up on the Grand Bank halftime show, we'll be talking with Jeffrey Coulter, the director of the show choir at Sumrall, and see what's cooking with the show choir. Just about every program you look at Sumrall now making great strides and competing very strongly in their fields of practice, so to speak. 1st and 10, twin receivers for the Bobcats here to the near side of the field. Again, Dennis Jackson at QB. Perfect snap, rolls to his right, tucks it, now wants to throw it, lofts it downfield. He's got a man at the 30-yard line. Good catch brought in there by Gabe Cocroft. Gabe Cocroft with a pass caught right on his shoulder at the 30-yard line. Bobbled it for a minute, Billy, but he saw it in.
He did. He's improved a whole lot catching the ball, and that's going to make a huge difference for our offense.
Really, when you look at Dennis Jackson, the way that he tucks the ball in, linebackers have to respect that because they think he might run it, and then all of a sudden he pulls it out to throw it. You talk about a dual threat. 1st and 10 for Sumrall at the 30. They try it to the right side. A bad snap, but Jackson holds it. Now cuts back inside, across the grain. The 25, the 20, coming to the near sideline. Looks for a blocker at the 15, and is finally brought down at the 13-yard line. Boy, Dennis Jackson doing a Houdini job there down this sideline.
Brings up 1st and 10 for the Bobcats from the Cobras. 14-yard
And
line.
since you're over there, Billy, when that action goes this way, just kind of move the camera that way too, so we can follow it up here. It was a good running play by Jackson. I'm afraid the viewers only got about half of it. 1st and 10 at about the 14-yard line. Jackson calls for the ball, goes to the right. Little throw across the middle, looking for Coleman, or not Coleman rather, but Cocroft, overthrown. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 play coming up. But now the Bobcats inside the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. And during our 2nd quarter heat timeout, we'll be bringing you the State Farm Insurance rock and roll trivia question. You're going to have to try to answer it, but you can't Google it.
Okay.
Okay, you got to promise me you won't Google, which is something 20 years ago we would have never asked people because there wasn't such a thing. 2nd down and 10. Bobcats looking to the sideline as the play call shifted in. A series of people on the sidelines flashing in signals. Obviously, one of those sets of signals are live. The rest of them are decoys. 2nd down and 10. Jackson takes the snap and the handoff right up the middle. Not a lot of room for Preston. He might have gotten inside the 15-yard line, but it's going to be a 3rd down and about 9 upcoming after the gain of 1.
13-yard line.
Barry now shifting to the far side of the field. Sumrall trying to hit pay dirt for the first time. Clock moving with 6:50 left to go here before half, in a half that has gone by very quickly. Have not seen the heavy package yet tonight for Sumrall. On 3rd down, handoff, big hole, right side. Preston diving toward the 5-yard line, got in at about the 4, and I think that looks like from here, Billy Garrity, that he got the 1st down.
Brings up 1st and goal for the Bobcats from the Cobras.
Sounds like he did.
It is a 1st down and goal. Nice run there by Preston.
Might bring in the heavy package here for the goal line.
Haven't seen him yet. And it's very easy to detect because when you bring in Daniels and Solly Landrum, you are bringing in some serious beef. And the heat timeout will take place here. And those will continue until we get to the month of October. So Sumrall will have a 1st and goal. All right, time for our State Farm rock and roll trivia question. It happened today. A music album today just displaced Michael Jackson's Thriller and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon as the best-selling record album of all time. And I guess that includes downloads and all that sort of thing. What record album today became the top-selling album in rock and roll history? That's our trivia question. Brought to you by State Farm. It's not just a home or a car. It's the 6th month you saved for your HD flat screen just in time for football season, and the overtime you worked for that 3rd car so your team can drive themselves to practice. While other companies just see them as a bundle or a combo, State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple sees your home and car as things you really work hard for. Stacy Clark Temple understands what your things really mean to you and is here to help you to give them the protection they deserve. So talk to State Farm agent Stacy Clark Temple in Sumrall for your home and auto insurance today. We'll get the question answered here in just a minute. 1st down and 10 for the Bobcats. Heavy package is in for Sumrall. Direct snap and forward for maybe, it was a 4th down. They announced it was a 1st down, but it was 4th down and inches.
Looks like they got the 1st down.
That time for sure they did. So now it's 1st down and goal at about the 3. Bobcats there on the far side. Clock moving with 5s across in the 2nd quarter. Sumrall trailing the Cobras 6-0. Heavy package again. This time it's Coleman. Nigel Coleman spins, but just short of the goal line at the 1-yard line. Great effort, but he didn't get in. Making the tackle there was Colin McGowan.
3-yard line. Give him a little support.
So it looks like he's about at the 1.5 is where they spotted it. But you know this is 4-down territory. They're not going to kick a field goal here when you're this close to putting it in. Bobcats again with the heavy package. They shift right. Hand off to the first man through. Pushing forward. Did he get in? It is a Bobcat touchdown. Ashanti Cockcroft across the goal line, and the Bobcats can take the lead with a pending extra point. 3 different guys you can give it to there, Billy. For the dive to the first guy through, hand it off to the second guy, or you could keep it yourself and run it outside, yeah? Any one of those plays?
We also had some pass plays off of it last year. So it's a lot of different plays just from that little goal line package that we have.
Bryson Smith on to kick the extra point, but it's blocked. It is no good. So we are tied at 6 with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here at before half, and Sumrall and Wesson tied at 6. Do you know the State Farm trivia question answer? You probably don't.
Is it like an old rock album, or
careful now?
Or older, like?
Yes, it is. It is. It's a group. And actually, I think 2 members of this group have recently passed away. And they were really, really big in the 70s.
It's got to be. When I think popular from around that time, I think of like the Beatles or.
Well, the Beatles were like 60s.
They were.
Yeah, but the band that we're talking about, when you say their name, they are also the something, and it sounds a lot like the Beatles, but it's not the Beatles.
It wasn't who I was saying. My second guess would have been Kiss. So.
Good guess too. I'll give you another clue. This will probably give it away. Super Bowl champions. Who were the Super Bowl champions? Who won it last year? Billy, come on, you got to know that. If you don't know that, buddy, I can't help you.
I'm still thinking about the trivia question.
Yeah, our Stacy Clark Temple State Farm trivia question. What album today became the top-selling album of all time? Surpassing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, Michael Jackson's Thriller, Carole King's Tapestry. Okay, you want to think about it some more? We'll give you a little more time as Bryson Smith gets ready to tee it up.
I'm still trying to think about it. I know the Eagles won, but
that's the band.
The band is called the Eagles.
You've never heard of the Eagles?
I've never heard of them.
We are perilously close, ladies and gentlemen, to the end of civilization as we know it, when kids today have not heard of the Eagles. Yes, the Eagles' greatest hits album, the 71 to 75 greatest hits album today, became the best-selling recording of all time. Bryson Smith to kick it away, puts his right foot into it, the ball sailing toward the near side of the field, fumbled at about the 15, but picked back up, looking for some blockers, but not getting any. Up at about the 23-yard line is Victavian Edwards. Edwards did get it across the 20 to about the 24. We've got everybody texting in the answers now. And they all are coming up with the right answer, Billy, that it was the Eagles' greatest hits album, 71 to 75, their greatest hits. Again, today became the top-selling record album of all time. Our rock and roll trivia questions brought to you by State Farm insurance agent Stacy Clark Temple. Gary and Kim Dean are watching the game in Sumrall tonight, Billy, and they say they hope that you are feeling better. So,
well, I appreciate it.
A lot of people pulling for you in the road ahead here. If you'd like to get in on the act, 601-310-7077. First and 10 for the Cobras in a tie ball game here now with 4:54 left to go before halftime in the Grand Bank halftime show. Sims with the football. Hands it off, but met immediately. No gain on the play. Making the stop there is Ashanti Cockcroft. for Sumrall.
Edwards on the carry for the Harris on the carry.
Nailing Edwards for no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Remember, Sumrall gets the football to begin the second half because the Bobcats kicked off to the Cobras to begin the game. The 2nd down, the Cobras working from south to north here at Colin. Colin expected to battle Pearl River, Gulf Coast, Jones for the South Division title this year in the Mac Jack, which begins play next Thursday night. Gain of 2 over right tackle. Again, the spectacular sophomore Cole Daniels. Cole Daniels, to me, is a big-time. Now, I don't know he's a big kid, but remember, he's just a sophomore. So if he can continue to develop and continues to love the game like he does now, there's no telling where he's going to wind up in a couple of years. 3rd down and 9 now. Normal passing play, but the Cobras have not thrown but twice tonight. Sims at quarterback. Takes the snap. It's a good one. Looks to his right. Lofts this one up in the air, way downfield, overthrew his receiver. The intended receiver there was Shamar Dickerson. And we've got a penalty marker down on the far side of the field at the 25-yard line. But the Cobras think it's against them, so they're coming off the field. And the punting unit would check in, but shout out to Hayden Barrett from Seminary, Mississippi. Looks like his uncle is watching tonight. Uncle Sammy actually watching the ball game. Hayden Barrett, heck of an athlete. Again, not a very big guy, but very quick on his feet and can cause all sorts of problems for other teams when he gets the football.
He can, and also looking forward to him helping us out more than he could last year in baseball. He had the arm injury last year, so he had to run bases for most of the season. But he's a good baseball player too. I heard he had a good summer. So looking forward to seeing him this year in baseball too.
I know this has got to be tough for you, kid, to just have to sit here and watch this stuff, but it'll make you better in the long run, right? What doesn't kill you will make you better, as they say.
That's right.
So back to bring the football back is Barry. He flashes the fair catch up at the 44-yard line. So the Bobcats will have a short field as he did receive it back here at the 44.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats from their own 43-yard line.
Now spotted at the 43 officially. And coming up on the Grand Bank halftime show, we'll learn about what the Sumrall Show Choir is up to. Jeffrey Coulter, the director of the show choir, scheduled to join us, and we hope to see you next Friday night back in the Raw, where the Bobcats have their home opener against the Sacred Heart Crusaders. First of a 3-game homestand, 3 straight games at home. Raymond McRaney watching from Louisiana, class of 76 from Sumrall High School, the bicentennial class, checking in. 1st and 10 for Sumrall. Jackson wants to throw, steps up into the pocket, does across the middle, and that ball is nearly intercepted. Cocroft was the intended receiver, but Jackie Brown was there cutting across the middle and nearly picked it and went the other way. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
They have a quick trigger with these flags tonight.
And it is a hold against Sumrall. Been a lot of holding calls tonight. Sometimes, and I know I'm going to sound like one of those guys, so I preface that by saying that sometimes I think referees think they get paid by the number of flags they throw, you know.
I can agree with that.
I mean, if it's blatant, throw the flag. But if it's, you know, kind of incidental stuff, let it go. Let them play. So with the clock sitting at 3:18 left to go here before half, it's a 1st and 20 for Sumrall. As you see your great HD picture here on Sumrall's YouTube channel. Dennis Jackson on the give and go to Preston. Preston to the right side, weaves his way through traffic, gets the 10 of the 20 yards back. Nice run by Tyreek Preston to get up to about the 44-yard line. Please tell me we don't have another flag. No, we have a player down, it appears, and bad news is it's a white shirt.
Looks like Zane Berry.
And everybody down on a knee. And boy, Zane, one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet and a really gifted athlete. Down on the field, being surrounded there by staff. I didn't see necessarily what happened over there or how Zane was specifically involved in that play. Hopefully it might just be a cramp or maybe a twisted ankle. I mean, he's up, so that's certainly good. But he is being helped off the field, and it appears that he is favoring his left ankle. That would be a huge loss for the Bobcats if he wouldn't be able to continue. So 2nd down and 10 after getting, as we mentioned, 10 of those yards back on the run with 3:01 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Sumrall looking to the far sideline for the play call. Kelly Sander along with Billy Garrity here on a perfect night in Wesson. But if you live in Wesson, they say it's a perfect night every night. No such thing as a bad night in Wesson. So 2nd down from the far hash mark. Dennis Jackson surveys the defense, calls for the football. Give and go again, the exact same play. It's Preston who almost got through traffic. A shoestring tackle there across the middle. Good play, saving a big gain by Scott Hutt, the linebacker. Brings up a 3rd down and about 7 after a gain of 3. So now on 3rd and 7, normally a passing down here, Billy, but the Bobcats could also run it. What do you call here?
It looks like that play is working good for us, but looks like we might have to do a fake off of it since the linebackers might be reading the run.
Jackson takes it himself, dives across the 50 into Cobra territory down to about the 40, between the 48 and the 49, and he had to get to like the 47 and a half, so 4th and about a yard.
I have to go for it here.
No heavy package though.
Maybe another run play, that's what it seems like I would do.
And it is a run play to Preston, and Preston dives over left tackle and gets just enough for the 1st down. Shamar Martin on the tackle. And it looks, boy, he didn't get a very good spot there, did he, Billy? Didn't look like to me.
Doesn't look like he has a good spot at all.
1st and 10 for the Bobcats from the Cobras 47-yard line.
Will be a 1st and 10 for us, though.
So it is a 1st down for Sumrall. Jackson and company at the 45. They try the handoff, trying a little slant run there, and no room at the end. Darren Coney, junior running back, was lassoed in the backfield and dropped for about a 5-yard loss. Not something there that the Bobcats wanted to see. So 2nd down with 1:09 left to go. And if nothing else, and Coney is going off now with a hobbled ankle. You see him on the far side of the field kind of coming off gingerly. So you hope that the Bobcats don't continue to drop like flies, and we hope that we have not heard anything on Zane Berry. We hope that maybe it's just something that he can weather through halftime and come back in the 2nd half. 2nd down and 14 for Sumrall, tied at 6 with the Cobras. There's a pass, and it's caught up at about the 45, and then diving forward was the aforementioned Matthew Cronin, actually, his first reception of the night. It looked like Barrett was over there, and he was, but Cronin was the man with the catch. Cronin did not play last week against South Jones in the uniform tonight and comes up big with a catch there and gives Sumrall now a 3rd down and 7. Certainly manageable. 26 seconds left to go in the half. Dennis Jackson on the snap, has running room to the side. Jackson gets a 1st down at about the 32-yard line, weaving his way through traffic. And one of the questions, Billy, that a lot of people had is if Dennis is running the ball, because he's not very heavy, you know, is how will he be able to take the pounding? But you got to catch him first.
That's right.
And other teams haven't been able to do that. Timeout is called on the field now with 32 seconds left to go before halftime here. This football game tied at 6. Dandy Dan's and Chevron and Sumrall is the go-to one-stop shop in Sumrall. They're open at 6 a.m. every day, and whether you need a quick soft drink or maybe different types of fuel, including diesel, Dandy Dan's, like the Bobcat defense, won't let you down. Dandy Dan's, Chevron, and Sumrall is a proud sponsor of the offensive player of the game and wishes Coach Shannon White and the team good luck in its quest for a district and state championship. Dandy Dan's in Sumrall on Highway 42 right across from the middle school. Again, open every day at 6 a.m.
First and 10 for the Bobcats from the Cobras, 33-yard line.
So it is a first down, but again, only 15 seconds with which to work. And go for the end zone here. What do you say?
Try and go for the end zone and get close to it. That way Mike could send Bryson Smith onto the field.
That's what they do, and Dennis Jackson had a receiver down at about the 4-yard line, but was overthrown. He did the right thing and threw it toward the sideline so the ball couldn't be intercepted. 9 seconds now left on the play clock.
Brings up second down and 10 for the Bobcats.
And we'll kind of move the camera angle over so you can get a better look at that end zone shot. The intended receiver was Tyler Daniels. So second down and 10 here. And I'm hoping our Grand Bank halftime guest hasn't gotten lost in the press box. And that, of course, is Jeffrey Coulter, the show choir director. Dennis Jackson, little pass out into the right flat, getting down to about the 25-yard line. The clock ran out, but I think did Sumrall call timeout before then?
I feel like Coach White would have called timeout right there.
Most certainly. And at least perhaps try the field goal. So apparently that is what happened anyway, as far as Sumrall calling the timeout with just a couple of ticks left. The football is at the 23-yard line. It would be a 40-yard attempt. You see zeros on the clock, but apparently the Bobcats will get one more shot at it here in this 6-6 football game. And Sumrall gets the football to begin the second half, remember. So we'll see what they elect to do.
Looks like Zane Berry's walking himself to the locker room right now, so that's a good sign.
It'll be one more play before the half.
And it doesn't look like he's putting weight on the foot too, so that is good. Third down, but that's really moot. This will be the last play of the half. Dennis Jackson wants to go to the end zone. Can he find anybody open? Rolls to his left. Now slings it down there. He's got a man open. Touchdown! Tyreek Preston!
Touchdown, Bobcat.
Got away from his defender and was open wide across the middle. And Dennis Jackson coming actually back, rolling to his left but throwing to the right. A very difficult play to make. What a catch by Tyreek Preston in the end zone. And the Bobcats, like that, take the lead.
Great job by the offensive line to give Dennis enough time for that play to happen.
Bryson Smith was involved with the last play of the first half last week with a 28-yard field goal. And here he's on to try to add an extra point and give the Bobcats a 16.
Looks like offsides.
Yeah,
right there.
The Cobras were quickly across the line. And it is offsides. Now, with you getting half the distance to the goal, here comes the heavy package, and they're going to go for 2 here. I think that's a good call. To try to make up the extra point that you missed last time. And make it an 8-point lead for Sumrall. If they could punch it in here. Again, the time clock has expired at halftime, but the Bobcats have grabbed the lead. Dennis Jackson on a 24-yard touchdown pass
The Bobcats are lined up to attempt a 2-point conversion.
to Tyreek Preston. Heavy package in. Shifted to the right. Rolling to his right man, wide open, and the pass is incomplete. Tough break because the receiver was open, and just with a quick trigger, Gabe Cocroft threw behind the intended receiver. But it was there. The Bobcats just didn't execute it. But we're at halftime here in Wesson tonight, and Sumrall has grabbed a 12-6 lead. And again, the Bobcats will get the ball to begin the second half of play. A couple of guys down for the Bobcats. We hope that, again, Zane Berry went out with about 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. We hope that he'll be back. From the 601 area code, Billy Garrity, it says, our favorite Bobcat is sitting right next to you. Right next to you. We miss getting to see our nephew Billy play, but he's doing a good job helping you tonight. Hey, you always got a future here, right? I know you'd rather play, though, right? Of course you would.
My grandparents also wanted to know that they were watching from Mendenhall.
Mendenhall, Mississippi, home of the Fighting Tigers. I think big rivals with the McGee Trojans up there in Simpson County. You see the Sumrall band across the way in their powder blue uniforms. Time for the Grand Bank Halftime Show, brought to you by Grand Bank. Are you ready to buy or build your dream home? Well, Grand Bank has the perfect loan. From hassle-free construction financing to ideal programs for first-time home buyers, Grand Bank has become the preferred choice for home loan shoppers in the Pine Belt wanting low rates and quality customer service they can count on. Find out for yourself. Stop by Grand Bank in Hattiesburg and Petal, or you can call them at 601-264-1467. That's 264-1467. Grand Bank is your hometown bank, locally owned and operated, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Our color guard captains are Anna Caraway, Elizabeth Shirley.
The Wesson band getting ready to perform, and then the Sumrall band will be on after that. We're going to turn our microphones down while Wesson is performing. Let everybody kind of catch their breath. We'll turn the microphones back up when the Sumrall band performs so that you can see and hear them. And we hope to be joined by Jeffrey Coulter, the director of the show choir at Sumrall. Maybe he's in the press box trying to find us. We'll go try to find him in the meantime. But the Sumrall Bobcats leading the Wesson Cobras 12-6 at halftime. Enjoy the Grand Bank Halftime Show, and we'll be back with you momentarily.
about another round of applause for the Wesson Mighty Cobra Band? The director of the Mighty Cobra Band is Miss Susie Phillips, assisted by Mr. Mark Dickerson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sumrall High School is proud to present the award-winning Spirit of Sumrall. This year, the band is being sponsored by Ben Calhoun State Farm Insurance Agency. Section leaders for the band are Tommy Dilwith, Sarah Hinchy, Emma Spears, Brooke Stewart, Carter Templeton, and Zach Williams. Drum captain is Russ Miller. Guard captains are Madeline Laird and Grace McCluskey. The band is under the field command of drum major Jimmy Dilwith. Tonight, the band will be performing their show entitled Joy. We want you to reflect on what you practice in your life. Do you practice jealousy, anger, or other negative emotions? Why not join the Spirit as they practice joy? Tonight, the band will perform Movement 1, Creating Joy, and part of Movement 2, Joy in the Unknown. Soloists for tonight are Rebecca Cardenas and Carter Templeton on alto saxophone. Drum major, is your band ready? Spirit of Sumrall, you may take the field.
Sumrall Band making its way off of the field here at Wesson. We're at halftime, where the Sumrall Bobcats lead the Wesson Cobras 12-6, and the Bobcats will get the football to begin the second half. Our halftime brought to you by Grand Bank. Obtaining a home loan is easier from your hometown bank, and that's Grand Bank. They've become the preferred choice for home buyers in the Pine Belt wanting low interest rates and hometown service they can count on. Give them a call at 601-264-1467. That's 601-264-1467. Joining us now, Mike's side, is Jeffrey Coulter, the director of the show choir and concert choir at Sumrall, and we welcome you, Mr. Coulter. Good to have you here, and you've got some exciting news. You got a group going to the Big Apple in December. Tell us about it.
That's right. Our a cappella group, Traces of Blue, was selected to perform at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and will open in front of a sold-out crowd for the Rockettes on December the 18th.
Now, how did that happen?
We had to submit videos from the past 3 years, and then we were selected from thousands of groups that have applied.
Now, I'm intrigued about the church performance. I don't think that it'll be a show choir type.
Oh, no. This will all be concert choir.
So when you get the word that's happening, of course, then the first concern is, well, how are we going to raise the money to get there?
Exactly. So we've started a campaign to raise all the funds. It's going to cost $26,000 to get all the girls there.
Wow.
Because it's just a female group going. But so far, everything is going great, but we can always use people's donations. And if they make them through the Lamar County Education Foundation, it'll be tax deductible.
And how can they do that? I'm sure everything's online now, I guess.
It is, and then if they'll just contact the school, we can get them the information.
So when you go for these type of events, do they restrict you as to what you can perform, or what sort of parameters do they put on you?
Yes, at St. Patrick's, it can only be Christmas music, and it can only be sacred music. And then for the Rockettes, we pretty much have an open gamut there, but we only have 5 minutes.
So at the church, Mama or Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
That's not going to happen. We may be asked to leave.
Yeah, not that you'd want to sing that anyway, but I got you. So when did you get the word?
We got it 2 weeks ago. The official word that we were able to go.
Now, was it out of the blue that you got word, or was there kind of a trickle down?
It's been we've been working on it since May, trying to get all those stuff submitted and then work with the district to make sure it was approved to go, since it's right before finals.
Was there any way of knowing how many other schools, how many other teams you were competing against?
We don't know an exact number. We just know it was several hundred, close to 1,000.
So when you coach, if you'll allow me to use the term, the show choir as opposed to the concert choir, tell me about the different approaches to each group.
Really, the singing is the same. It's just with the show choir, they're dancing and doing choreography, so that it's a lot more intense. They have to do a lot more training to prepare for that.
So they not only have to learn their music.
Yes, they also have to learn the choreography to go with it.
Now, you handle the music, obviously.
I do, but I do not do the choreography.
I was just going to say, so how does that happen, and what type of partnership has been formed there?
We have a choreographer, Denton Carney, who comes in and he teaches the show, and then he actually comes back and helps clean them and get them ready on that aspect, and then I take care of everything else.
So how soon does Denton know ahead of time what the music is going to be? And
we knew in late May exactly what's going on. So he's been working on it then, and we've got to start on it, but we really won't kick it in until October.
When you pick the music, Mr. Coulter, what do you look for?
What's going to win. So we're looking for something that's going to be competitive and something that's going to be entertain the crowd, first and foremost.
And you say what's going to win, so it's obviously adjudicated.
Oh, yes.
Right? And there always is that, because like the Academy Awards, I always say, people will say, well, I hated that movie. I'll say, yeah, but the Academy will love it.
I liked it. That's right.
So tell me, kind of go into the mind of the judges as to what they like and why they like it.
Yeah, but what they like is, anything that's just with the choreography that's clean, where everybody's doing the same thing, there's no issues. With the music, there's a little more leeway, but sometimes you'll get a judge that really likes something highbrow, and then sometimes that just likes rock and roll music. So sometimes it's hit or miss.
What about like Broadway show tunes?
Yep, those go over pretty well.
Do the kids have ever, and he say, do they ever come up and say, hey, Mr. Coulter, we like this, let's try this?
They do, but it usually doesn't happen.
So they're open to giving, or you're open to them giving suggestions.
Yes.
And usually when you flush them, why do you flush them?
It's just not feasible to do what they're thinking.
Too contemporary.
Can
music can be too contemporary? Yes. Explain that to me.
Just some of the new stuff, like trying to rap on stage, really isn't going to work. Because especially at Sumrall, we just don't have kids that really do that. So.
But you look at other schools around the area, and I know the Petal comes to mind. Petal's had a great show choir for a long time. And how is the show choir at Sumrall growing?
Oh, it's growing. We actually doubled in number this year.
Wow, in 1 year?
In 1 year. We had a smaller group last year. We doubled the number, and we actually could only take 40 of the 60 that tried out.
Okay, so not you're getting to the point now where you are selective and have to be. Yeah. So is there a season, a show choir season?
Yes, it starts in January and ends in March. So that's when we compete. I mean, we're prepping to get ready for that, starting in October.
And like the sports teams, the MHSAA kind of is the jurisdiction.
Actually, they do not have jurisdiction over the show choirs, but they do over the concert choirs.
That's interesting.
It is.
As to why one and not the other. Any idea why?
No idea. Can't get a straight answer.
Okay. Well, maybe someday. From what I know after doing games all these years, if there's money in it, the MH...
They're coming.
they will come quickly, if they can learn that they can make a little bit of money. Okay, more information again on the trip, how people can help the girls get to New York.
Yes, if they'll contact the school and get in touch with me, we'll give them all the information, and they can send any donations to the Lamar County Education Foundation and just mark Sumrall High School Choir.
And they're going to be doing, car washes and cake bakes and
everything. We've got 15 fundraisers planned.
Okay, well, and so you can help out as you see the Bobcats making their way onto the field on the far side of the field. Mr. Jeffrey Coulter, thank you for being here. I began to panic a little bit because he wasn't here, but this press box is pretty expansive here at Colin, and it's kind of tough sometimes to find out where we are. But he said he was going to be here, and he was, and he did a great job, and we wish nothing but the best to the concert and show choirs at Sumrall High School. Again, Mr. Coulter, thanks so very much. Back with the second half in a moment. Kelly Sander along with Billy Garrett as we wrap up the Grand Bank halftime show. Grand Bank is there when you're looking for your first home, your next home, or to refinance your current home. Grand Bank will always make it easy for you. They're locally owned, and their home is right here, and they want to help you with yours. Give them a call, 601-264-1467, 264-1467. Grand Bank, your hometown lender, member FDIC, equal housing lender. And I would expect now, Billy, as I get your thoughts going into the second half, I would expect now that Sumrall's kind of got their feet wet and their bearings about them, that I would look for them to put together a much crisper second half. What about you?
That's what I'm hoping for. I feel like there's a good chance of that happening. I feel like a ball is going to be passed a little bit more with that big spark right before we went into halftime. And, of course, let Dennis run the ball around. But as we've played that first half, I do feel like it's going to be a more crisper half, like you said.
Yeah, and the second half for Sumrall last week against South Jones, they completely dominated the South Jones Braves up in Ellisville last week. And here in Wesson tonight, we're hoping more of the same. Don't forget that the Bobcats come home next Friday for the home opener against the Sacred Heart Crusaders. And while we're on the subject of Sacred Heart, let's go to the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard, get you up to date other scores around the area. First of all, Lamar County action. Lumberton is leading Bay High 7-0 down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Oak Grove walloping Wayne County 27-6. That game, I believe, has gone to halftime now. Wayne County losing to Oak Grove 27-6. West Marion at home tonight, looking to go 2-0. They beat PCS last week. West Marion beating Purvis 26-7. It is Richton over Sacred Heart 35-0 in the second quarter. Richton all over Sacred Heart, and Sacred Heart will be at Sumrall next week. Columbia Academy beating PCS 22-7. 22-7. Columbia Academy leading PCS. As we continue with the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard, we go to the District 7-4A games. Perry Central is in Brooklyn tonight playing Forest County AHS. Perry Central leading Forest County 14-6. That is a halftime score. A game that will be talked about if it ends this way. Greene County beating George County 7-3. George County, a 6A powerhouse. Greene County in our region leading George 7-3 at half, and that game is in Loosedale. Poplarville, the king of the hill in District 7-4A the last couple of years, beating rival Pearl River Central 29-14. And Brookhaven, Old Brook, leading Lawrence County 14-0, and that game is in the second quarter in Brookhaven. All of our scores brought to you by our friends at Primerica Financial Services to not only protect your assets but grow them as well. Primerica Financial Services, proud to be supporters of Sumrall Bobcat football, and we thank Primerica. They always are there Whether you need a sign or anything to support the program, Primerica is always there. Thank you to Primerica Financial Services. We'll be getting you more scores as the night goes on, both from the region and from District 7 4A. So again, the Cobras come to kick it off to the Bobcats, and back to receive it for the Bobcats back there at about the 10-yard line. Nigel Coleman to the far side of the field, it would appear. And also out there is Tyler Daniels, the freshman. There's a lot of the classes for Sumrall, so much has been made of this senior class, but talent abounds in all of the classes, and that's what really makes a program strong year in and year out, not where it's a rebuilding program, but a reloading program. So again, Sumrall to get the football, teeing it up there is Seth Cohn, the senior, the left-footed soccer stylist, Cohn spelled with a K. And we are ready to get the second half underway, and there's a short kick toward the near side of the field that will actually gets by the Bobcats, but it worked out well there, Billy, because since it wasn't touched, the ball wiggled out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty against the Cobras, and Sumrall will get really good field position here. So talk about turning a negative into a positive. So a good break there for the Bobcats as they will start the second half here at this end of the field.
Those are always hard balls to judge whenever they're kicked right in between everybody, like a pooch kick.
It has a funny shape to it, doesn't it, a football? Sometimes it goes with you, sometimes against you. Coming up at the end of the game, the Handy Dans in Bellevue and Sumrall Offensive and Defensive Players of the Game, and the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show. Recapping this game and then letting you know what's ahead for the Sumrall Bobcats. We thank Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic and Dr. April Gilmore, who back when she was at Sumrall High School, she was April McGilvery. But now, one of the fine physicians at Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic on Lincoln Road Extension, but wanting to make sure that they're on our Sumrall Bobcat webcasts, along with Handy Dan's in Bellevue, where they have non-ethanol fuel. And they open at 5 a.m. with some of the best plate lunches and breakfasts that you can imagine. That's at the Dandy Dan's on 589 in Bellevue. 1st and 10 for Sumrall, working right to left. Tyreek Preston, who's had a good first half and made that terrific catch to give Sumrall the lead. He's in the backfield, split to the left of Dennis Jackson as we get underway here in the second half. Kind of a high snap, but a quick throw out into the flat to Cockcroft. Cockcroft slips and falls. Penalty marker comes down late, but I sure didn't see anything. Did you, Billy?
I'm not sure I did, but I think he just signaled it was a holding call on number 9.
And that, Tyler Daniels. And really no need. Well, there's never a need to hold, but I mean, they'd already had a good gain on the play. So this is going to be negated. Most certainly the Cobras will take the penalty because of the gain that Sumrall had.
Holding against the Bobcats.
But holding is a spot foul, meaning it's marked off from where the hold occurred and held downfield. So it's a 1st and 15. Jackson on the handoff to Preston, but he is met with opposition at the line of scrimmage, is able to wiggle forward for about 3 yards. He was tackled on the play by Jaquavion Harris, the senior outside linebacker. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 13. Just underway here in the second half at Colin Community College. Bobcats leading the Cobras 12-6. Sumrall looking to avenge. Oh no, Sumrall won last year. It's the Cobras looking to avenge a loss last year on the road, but they'll have to hold serve here at Colin. The Bobcats lead it. 2nd down, Jackson rolls to his right, wants to throw. Look out, he's in trouble. Wrapped up and dropped for a loss of about 3. Again, making the play is Jaquavion Harris. And Harris is going to be one of those guys, Billy, that the Sumrall coach, will somebody please block that guy at some point. Another loss brings up a 3rd down and 15 for the good guys.
About 16 for the Bobcats on their own.
Coming out here to the near side is Tyler Daniels. Also out here is Gabe Cocroft. Do not see Zane Berry in the lineup, so Berry may be done for the night. Trip receivers to the near side. Normally a pass situation. Jackson rolls to his right, though, and then throws it downfield looking for a receiver. In and out of the hands of Matthew Cronin. Cronin was wide open at the 25-yard line, and it just went right through the old wickets. Incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and the punting unit comes in, but that would have been 6 for the Bobcats. Cronin was open. Just right through his hands. So Payne Phillips on to kick it away for the Wildcats, leading 12-6. Back to receive it for the Cobras is Shamar Dickerson. Whoops. That wasn't supposed to happen. From the 601, they say they love Dandy Dan's lunch specials every day. Glad to hear that. They'll even, if you don't tell them I told you, even for breakfast, they'll make you up a special omelet in the back. But don't tell them I told you. High snap. Look out through Phillips's hands. He's got to go back. He kicked it into the end zone, and the Cobras can't hang on to it either. I think what Phillips was trying to do was kick it through the back of the end zone so that it would be a safety. But Phillips got hit, and when it got kicked out of bounds by the Cobras, it'll be a safety anyway.
Not a bad move there by Payne. Instead of letting one of them jump on it, just to go ahead and kick it out of the back.
So it's a 2-pointer for the Cobras. But more important than the 2 points, they're going to get the football right back. So special teams for Sumrall. I mean, we love the Bobcats, but we also have to call it like we see it. The special teams tonight, Billy, have not what you'd normally expect.
Going a little rough tonight. Hopefully we can get it together. The second half starting a little bit like the first half did.
So Sumrall, on a situation like this where there's a safety, you get the option to either punt the football away or to kick it away. But it's placed at the 20-yard line, and it looks like the Bobcats are going to place kick it. Because here comes Bryson Smith. And it can be held like a field goal. He's going to move to the middle part of the field here and put it on a tee. And that's the choice that they've gone with, is to tee it up and kick it away. So now a 12-8 ball game. The scoreboard that you see in the upper left part of your screen is wrong. They have not put the 2 points up there yet for the Cobras. It is a 12-8 game now. Smith with the kick, high end over ender. Comes down at about the 38 and picked up, streaking right straight ahead and getting into Sumrall territory at about the 45-yard line. Nice run there by Damian Smith. So they'll start first and 10 at the Sumrall 45-yard line. First possession of the second half. But really, when you look at it, Billy, the points tonight for the Cobras have all come on defense and special teams.
They've come off mistakes by Sumrall.
So the offense for the Cobras haven't figured out the Sumrall defense. Of course, I don't expect that a lot of teams will figure out this Sumrall defense. It was expected to be stingy going into the year, and it has been so far. Under center this time goes Antrell Sims. Sims on the handoff, met right at the line of scrimmage and pushed back for no gain is Jaquavion Harris. Ashanti Cocroft on the stop there. Forward progress, still a loss of a yard. It'll be second down and 11.
Seems like they're giving really good field position on that play right there. For him to have looked like he lost so many yards, they're only dropping back one.
They still have not put the 2 points on the scoreboard for the Cobras. It is a 12-8 game, remember. Second down and 11 from the far hash mark in front of the Sumrall bench. Sims rolls to his right. Is he going to throw or run? He wants to try to run, and he gets popped. Man, did he get hammered by Nigel Coleman. Perfectly legal hit, but knocked the clothes off of him at about the 47-yard line. What a lick by Nigel Coleman.
You got to expect that when you see Nigel Coleman coming in like that.
Oh, man, you know they're licking their chops when they see that quarterback running the ball. 3rd down and 11. Big play here for the Sumrall defense. Sumrall leading 12-8. On 3rd down, left side jumped for the Cobras. That's Matthew Holliday, the senior offensive lineman. While we get a chance, Uncle Ernie says they got to feed Tweeter the rock for Sumrall. And a shout out to Josh Allen, player number 43 for the Bobcats. His sister Kirsten and Cheyenne are watching the game. You can get in on the act too at 601-310-7077. We'll get your shout out on the air, 601-310-7077. More scores coming up on the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Sumrall takes the penalty for the Cobras. So 3rd down and about 17 now. Sims wants to throw. Screen pass is set up, and it will not go anywhere near where it needed to go. They did get about 6 yards on the play, did Jaquavion Harris, but several Bobcats there, including Solly Landrum. Also there defensively was Ashanti Cocroft. Goolsby in the neighborhood as well. It'll be 4th down now and 9, and the punting unit for the Cobras comes in, led by Connor Diamond, the sophomore punter. Back to receive it for the Rawcats is Gabe Cocroft. Cocroft is kind of tight to the line. They'll pooch kick this one. Cocroft won't even attempt it. As you see the football working its way down toward the 6-yard line, and that's where the Cobras will kill it. So 1st and 10 for Sumrall with 7:47 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sumrall trailing 12-8. Or Sumrall leading, rather. Sumrall leading 12-8. I'm surprised that somebody from the Cobras hasn't said something to the scoreboard operator. Get our 2 points up there, you know. Make sure that everybody knows. 1st and 10 for Sumrall. You got a long way to go working from north to south here at the home of the Wolfpack at Colin. The MAC-JC season will begin on Thursday night. You know, Pearl River opens at Dobie Holden Stadium in Poplarville against Itawamba on Thursday. And then Last Chance U will go to Poplarville the week following that. East Mississippi will be at Pearl River in week 2. We've just gotten the word from the sideline, Zane Berry out for the game. That's all we can tell you at this point. Berry will not return. 1st and 10 for Sumrall now. Now they've changed the scoreboard. You saw it, 12-8. Probably just about the time I said something, they said something. Tyreek Preston over right tackle. They continue to attack the left side of the defensive front for the Cobras. Nice tackle on the play there by Shamar Martin. But Preston got about 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Sumrall Bobcats.
Preston around the right side for a
looking to go 2-0 on the season before heading home next week against Sacred Heart. Cronin and Gabe Cocroft to the near side on 2nd and 8. Jackson still looking to the sidelines. Again, 3 or 4 guys there. Coaches flashing in signals. Jackson takes it and then hands it off right straight ahead. Breaking one wave and then getting through almost up to the 1st down yardage. What a great run. Is that Tate Davis that ran the ball? I think it was. Tate Davis toting the rock and bulldozing his way forward got enough for the Sumrall first down. How about that? 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Sumrall's got a long way to go. But it's still a one-possession game. Quarterback draw. Dennis Jackson gets to the outside, makes a move across the 30. Flags everywhere now at the 35-yard line. Billy, did you see something?
I don't think I did see anything. I feel like sometimes referees don't believe that the wide receivers can block without holding. So that's what it seemed like tonight. Looks like it's going to be on Matthew Cronin, if I had to guess.
Christian Clinton a little bit upset on the offensive line for Sumrall, kind of throwing his hands in the air, and I think that that's probably a pretty good call, Billy. That good blocking by Cronin, which sprung Dennis Jackson free, but it's a hold against Sumrall. Bobcats frustrated. Every time a good play happens, the flag comes out. And I by no means am saying that, there's any tomfoolery going on here. It's just 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
It will be at the first down marker, though. It's from the spot of the foul.
So that's the good news.
Still a 10-yard play.
Again, updating the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Oak Grove and Wayne County have gone to half now. Oak Grove up 27-6. Lumberton was leading Bay High 7-0 at last report, and West Marion all over Purvis 26-7. That also a halftime score. 1st and 10 for Sumrall. Jackson on the give to Preston. Nothing in the middle. He'll bring it to the near side. Tyreek Preston across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Nice run, tackled by Shamar Dickerson and Connor Diamond. That'll move the chains again for Sumrall. Shout out to Josh Allen from Mama, who is listening in Sumrall tonight. Glad to have Josh's mom along. 601-310-7077 for your shout out, and let the Bobcat Nation know that you're with us tonight. 1st and 10. Jackson rolls to his right. Will he throw? He will. He puts it over to Coecroft, but just slightly over his hands, something that he could not hang on to. That pass has been there tonight, Billy. Dennis has either just overthrown it a little bit or not given the receivers enough time to be able to break from coverage. Incomplete, stops the clock. 2nd down and 10 upcoming with 6:46 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sumrall leads by 4 on the road here in Wesson. He's got Preston in the backfield. He's got Hayden Barrett. Talked about how quick his feet were. Cronin to the far side on 2nd down and 10. Now he puts Barrett in motion. They fake it to him, and Jackson will run it himself right straight up the gut. Dennis Jackson on the other side of the 50-yard stripe down to about the 47. That should be near 1st down yardage again. Again, the tackle made by Connor Diamond. So Sumrall being very methodical here. And they're almost, you have to think they're almost afraid to involve the wide receivers in any type of blocking schemes, because the flags, particularly on this near side of the field, have been coming out all the time.
With the way they're running it right now, it's like they don't have a need for passing right now.
Yeah,
stick with what you
take what they give you, right? 1st and 10 for Sumrall. Bobcats lead it by 4. There's the give and go. Trying the near side. Again, it's Tyreek Preston slamming his way across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 4, maybe 5. Making a stop on the play is Scott Hutt, the junior outside linebacker. And we've got a heat timeout on the field with 5:54 left to go. There is a heat timeout, but we got to tell you, it's very pleasant tonight in Wesson. The humidity is down, and the temperature's even down a little bit. Hopefully a sign of things to come as we get closer to the fall. Bobcats working their way toward the Sumrall Lawn Care red zone. And don't forget, coming up, the Dandy Dan's Chevron and Sumrall and Bellevue offensive and defensive players of the game, and the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic postgame show. All things Rawl in the postgame show coming up. Sumrall wearing the white uniforms tonight. They might break out the powder blues next Friday. We'll see.
I haven't even seen them yet. It'd be nice to break them out for the first time.
You mean you didn't have to approve them? No,
They didn't let me approve them.
Good to have big-time Billy Garrity with us in the booth tonight, and I have a feeling he might be with us maybe the rest of the way. Let's hope it's a long season. 2nd down and 6. Jackson and company from the near hash mark. Play action, rolls to his right. Jackson dumps it off. Incomplete. Threw it slightly behind to the intended receiver for Sumrall. That was Tate Davis. That type of pass, you have to lead the receiver a little bit, and he threw it behind Davis that time. Dana seemed to be a lot more precise in that South Jones game, struggling particularly with the shorter passes tonight. But Dennis Jackson being called into service after the injury to Billy Garrity, to my right here. Jackson just showing you what a great athlete he is, being pressed into service, and an all-everything receiver that has committed now to Ole Miss. Major college football season begins next weekend. Southern Miss at home against Jackson State a week from tomorrow. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. Again, Pearl River opens Thursday at home against Itawamba. On the shift, Nigel Coleman to the left of Jackson now on 3rd down. They give it to Coleman, and he is dumped immediately. He got hit hard at about the 45-yard line. It'll be a 4th down and 7. And the punting unit comes in for Sumrall as they will try to pin the Cobras deep with 5:24 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Payne Phillips will set up shop at about the 42-yard line to boot it away. And back to receive it is Shamar Dickerson. Dickerson back at about the 20. We'll see if Phillips goes for the coffin corner here and try to avoid the return. The kick is away. Dickerson will not touch it. It bounces inside the 10, gets down to about the 6-yard line where they down it. Now there's a good special teams play for Sumrall. Sully Clark was down there to have a good eagle eye on it, and he downs it at about the 13-yard line. Good play by Sully, another baseball guy. So the Cobras are going to be hemmed up deep here in an offense that has not really been able to figure out the Sumrall defense.
Take this time to introduce our cheerleaders.
Other scores on the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Richton was really laying it on Sacred Heart, 35-0. That's gone halftime now. In District 7 4A games, Perry Central continuing to lead Forest County AHS 14-6. Poplarville leading Pearl River Central, its rival, 29-14. That is in the 3rd quarter.
Destiny Jones.
1st and 10 for the Cobras with 4:55 left to go. Sims lobs this one down the field and overthrows his intended receiver up at the 50-yard line. Shamar Dickerson was there. He had man-to-man coverage with Cronin, but way overthrown. It'll be 2nd down and 10. One thing that the Cobras need to do here is to try to get some kind of yardage so that they don't put their punter up against the baseline of the end zone.
Laney Jones.
Bobcats lead it by 4. The only scoring here in the 3rd quarter was a safety that the Cobras got after a punt was knocked out of the back of the end zone for Sumrall. Quarterback keeper over the left side, but tripped up by Justice Hanberry after a gain of about perhaps 2. 3rd down and 8 coming up now for the Cobras from Wesson High School in their blue uniforms trimmed in red and white. You see Coleman in the back, in the defensive backfield, the deep man there for Sumrall. So 3rd down. Sims wants the football. He will run it himself. He'll try the left side. One blocker
Sims around the left side
was able to shake his man, and Cocroft tripped him up. He did get about 5 on the play, but is a good yard short. So 4th down and 1. This would be a big gamble for them to go for it if they didn't get it here, because then Sumrall would get the football obviously deep in the Cobra end of the field. From the 601, Billy, they don't say who they are, but they said, would you please tell Billy Garrity that I said hey. So somebody in the 601 likes you, Billy. The kick is away. The Bobcats won't return it at all. It actually kind of takes a side bounce, now straightens out, and will be downed at about the 43-yard line, and that's where Sumrall will start 1st and 10, again working from north to south. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sumrall protecting a 12-8 lead. Kelly Sander along with Sumrall injured quarterback Billy Garrity, who will not see the football field this year as he's on the mend, hopes to be ready for baseball season. And the Bobcats will be loaded as always on the baseball field. Lots of talent. 1st and 10 coming up. Dennis Jackson at quarterback. He's got Tyreek Preston with him in the backfield. Split to the right from the far hash mark in front of the Sumrall bench. Good prolonged drive here would do the Bobcats a lot of good. Whistles blow, flags fly as the ball is snapped. And this is a false start against Sumrall.
False start against the Bobcats.
Boy, it has been a real struggle.
Brings up 1st and 15.
Updating the Primerica Financial Services scoreboard. Poplarville now leading Pearl River Central 36-14. Greene County continues to lead George 7-3. That game now is in the 4th quarter. That would be a huge upset. Greene County's good, but George County is also real good. And George County's in 6A. Richton over Sacred Heart 42-12. And Oak Grove has scored another touchdown. Oak Grove ahead of Wayne County 34-6. That is Cocroft with the run over right tackle.
Cocroft around the right side for a nice game before we take him down by Martin.
Gets about 5 or 6 after the penalty. It's 6 yards.
43-yard line.
So 2nd down and 9 after they got that motion penalty back. All of our scores, by the way, let's see. West Marion has added another touchdown, leading Purvis 32-7. All of our scores brought to you by Primerica Financial Services. Dennis Jackson dances his way out of trouble, tries to get some blockers, and gets thrown out of bounds along the far sideline, and the penalty markers fly. That was a late hit on Dennis Jackson. He was already out of bounds and got pummeled over there. So this will cost the Cobras 15. And where is Dennis? There he is. Anytime a guy gets hit like that, it's always good to see him spring right back up. This is a big one against the Cobras.
Personal foul against the Cobras.
On the late hit on Dennis Jackson. There you see the scoreboard in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. 2:33 left to go in the 3rd. Sumrall leading at 12-8. First and 10 at the Cobra 40. Cronin to the near side of the field. Wing right there for Sumrall is Tate Davis. Tyreek Preston is the man in the backfield. 10 seconds left on the play clock as Sumrall moves the chains here on a 1st and 10 play. Jackson has it, gives it to Preston, tries the right side, then cuts it back inside, but it was immediately popped by Colin McGowan.
Preston around the right side for a little
forward progress gets him maybe 3 yards.
Brings up 2nd down to about 8.
So 7 or 8 on 2nd down. Bobcats working that clock with 2:12 left to go in the 3rd. It's just a 1-possession game, so no mistakes. Can be made. Daniels is into the ball game now. Cole, as they bring in some beef on that right side of the line on 2nd down and 7. This time Preston split to the right of Jackson. They'll try the left side this time. Preston up the middle. Wide open, but wait a minute. There was a reason why he was wide open up the middle, is because the whistles blew. And the line for Sumrall's going, what in the world? I didn't see any movement. Did you?
I don't see a flag either.
Oh, wow. If the officials weren't ready.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Not with tonight.
What the zebras there are
I don't see
in a herd, if you will, at the 35-yard line.
I don't see a flag anywhere. So.
I don't either. But that would have been 6 for Sumrall. But in fairness, the Cobras stopped pursuit, perhaps because, and you can see the White hat along the sideline talking to Shannon White and company. They're going, what in the world? What's going on here? So I guess, like in golf, you get a mulligan here. And that play didn't count. Tough for us.
Good break for Wesson.
Tony Stringer's watching the game in Sumrall tonight. Tony, a good buddy. Glad that he's definitely a big Bobcat fan. Glad that he's with us. His son Kyle was a baseball player on that Sumrall team, and Kyle now a college. Now the referee again going over to talk to his linesman. Neither team, Billy, has been able to get any momentum because the referees have taken more time in talking things over, and it has just not looked like a very organized group tonight. 2nd down and 5. Now the whistle blows. And we're back to, oh, and we've got movement. And here go the flags again. And I'll bet this is going to go 5 against Sumrall.
Looks like Tate Davis moved right there.
You know, but for both teams, it's really hard to get any type of momentum when you're snapping the ball once every 3 minutes.
False start against the Bobcats.
False start against Sumrall. Man. Uncle Ernie has texted in. He said he doesn't like this officiating. And it's not necessarily that the calls have been bad. It's just that it takes so much time in administering the game. And I don't think they're really sure as to where the line of scrimmage is supposed to be or whatnot. So after the 5-yard penalty, it's a 2nd down and 10. Looks like this one's going to work. Across the middle, looking for his receiver. Coatcroft was the intended receiver down at the 15, incomplete through his hands. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 and stop the clock with 1:24 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sumrall leading at 12-8. Football is at the 39-yard line of the Cobras. Bobcats don't want to be in a situation where one mistake could cost them the game, like a punt return or a kickoff return or something like that. Nursing a 4-point lead. Big play on 3rd down and 10. Jackson in trouble. He is being pursued, gets to the outside and has no choice but to escape out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Damian Smith chased him there. So the punting unit comes in for the Rawcats on 4th and about 16. Payne Phillips will come in to boot it away, and retreating to try to track it is Shamar Dickerson. 1:17 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sumrall scored a touchdown on the last play of the 1st half, and that's been the difference in this game. Perfect snap this time to Phillips. Gets the kick away. It'll come to the sideline. They'll try to pin him in the corner again. It gets inside the 20 and wiggles out at about the 18-yard line. So that's where the Cobras will start. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. The Bobcats know it's important to get a quick start, and so too your friends at Dandy Dan Chevron in Bellevue. Whether it's their complete line of fresh, always hot coffees to Miss Betty's sausage and egg biscuits, Dandy Dan's in Bellevue has your quick start covered. For lunch, how about those daily special plate lunches at Dandy Dan's Chevron in Bellevue? The smiles are always warm and the drinks are always ice cold. Proud supporters of Sumrall Football and all the local schools. Dandy Dan's in Bellevue on Highway 589. 1st and 10 for the Cobras. Hand off up the middle. Cole Daniels says no way, maybe a gain of a yard. Also helping out on the play there was Justice Hanbury. Justice has had a good game defensively, but Daniels has been everywhere. Remember, he's just a sophomore. 2nd and 9 after the gain of 1. This might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. He'll keep it himself. Goolsby tracking him along the far sideline. So is Nigel Coleman. No gain on the play. Cocroft was there. 3 Bobcats to put a nail in the coffin of the quarterback, Antrell Sims. 3rd down and about 8 coming up. And I'm not sure, like I said, that they'll get the play off before the end of the 3rd quarter.
Looks like they might try.
5 seconds. And they do. He wants to throw it. Sims lofts this one up in the air. Cronin is there, and the ball is intercepted by Cronin at the 45-yard line. Cronin has picked it off. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. So Matthew Cronin, who did not play last week, in there as a receiver tonight and picks one off in the secondary. It would have been a 4th down play coming up for the Cobras anyway, but good field position now for Sumrall as they'll just move it to the other 43-yard line as the Bobcats will now work south to north. If you've ever been here to Colin, it's an easy trip from Sumrall. You just bring the 42 over to Prentice and then get on the 84 highway all the way to Brookhaven, hit Highway 51 and come north, just a small piece. You come to Wesson and the college is right there on the right. About an hour and 15 maybe from Sumrall, hour and 10. So the Bobcats have it, protecting a 12-8 lead, and you know they certainly want to extend that. The Cobras won last week officially 8-0 in a game that was stopped by rain and lightning against Crystal Springs. So that win is a win for the Cobras. First and 10, trip receivers. Barrett goes into motion. They fake it to him. Jackson pump fakes and is dropped in the backfield. Here comes a flag late.
Jackson is taken down by number 10, Smith, on the sack.
That might be a hold against the Bobcats. You don't look shocked, Billy.
It's such a late call. It wasn't even near the play. It looks like holding. That's what's going to be called.
It is against the Bobcats. And it's declined because the Cobras sacked Jackson. So as you would expect that they wouldn't take it. But see, my problem on a play like that is if the play is over and it didn't have anything to do with the play, just leave the flag in your pocket.
I agree.
It didn't matter. 2nd down. Cobras jump off sides there. That was Jalen Suttles, the freshman defensive tackle. And they're pointing against the Cobras. Of course, the Bobcats are just standing still. They'll believe it when they see it. And it is offside against the Cobras.
Offside against the Cobras.
So that'll be a small little step forward of 5 yards.
It's a 2nd down and about 12 for the Bobcats on their own 41-yard.
Still a 2nd down and 12 even after they mark it off. After the loss to Jackson on the last play. Jackson looks to the sidelines. I don't know if you can see all the guys in the blue shirts down there on the end. They're the ones that flash in the signals, one being live, the rest of them decoys. Handoff right straight ahead. I mean, that's Preston. Preston with a gain of about another 4. He was brought down on the play by Matthew Holliday, a senior defensive tackle. 3rd down and about 6 yards to go. 11 minutes to 8 seconds left to go in the ball game. Cronin to the near side, so is Cocroft and Barrett. So trips to the near side for Dennis Jackson. Will Jackson run it or throw it here? He's rolling to his left. Now looked like he was going to pull it out and throw it, but was chased out of bounds. Knocked out by Connor Diamond. He did pick up a couple, but still about 4 yards short. 4th down, and the punting unit in again for Sumrall. So the Bobcat offense kind of spinning its wheels here. Again, Zane Berry was injured about 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter and has not returned. And we have been advised he will not return tonight. And Berry is a big piece of that Sumrall offense. Phillips to get the kick away. It's a good one to the near side, inside the 20, and bounces out again at about the 15. Right at the 15, in fact. So nice job by Payne Phillips to pin the Cobras deep. And really the Cobras, Billy, haven't shown any ability to move the football consistently on this Sumrall defense.
Hope it stays that way so we can have a chance to get the ball back. Maybe keep it for the rest of the game or score a touchdown.
12-8 is the score. Another shout out from, or two rather, Josh Allen from his nanny and pawpaw. Those are always the biggest fans of any athlete, aren't they?
They are my biggest fans.
The grandparents. 1st and 10 for the Cobras as the Cobra band strikes up down here and to the right of us. Sumrall defense has been really stingy tonight. Again, all the points have come on special teams tonight for the Cobras. 1st and 10, quarterback keeper. Right straight ahead, Sims is stacked up and pushed backwards. TJ Varnado, the Italian stallion in there making a play. Pushing him backwards.
Brings up 2nd down and about 7 for the Cobras from their own 16-yard line.
Solomon Landrum also in there. Boy, Landrum as a senior, quite a vocal leader for that defense. And then you've got the raw power and strength of a Daniels and then some athleticism around the rest of this defense has made the Bobcats tough. 2nd down and 8 after the gain of 2 on the run right straight ahead. Sims with the man split to his left, 2 receivers to the near side, wants to pass, he's in trouble, back near the end zone and dumps it away at the last minute, and I think this will be intentional grounding. Goolsby had him at the goal line. Also back there was Ashanti Cocroft, and if it is intentional grounding, it's also a loss of down.
Definitely looked like he just tried to get rid of it right there, knowing he was looked like he was about to go down or out of bounds.
Coaching staff for the Cobras are arguing that there was a receiver in the area, and there was, but it was a defender for Sumrall. You see the argument down here by the coach at about the 6 or 7 yard line. But we've chided the officials a little bit tonight, but in my opinion, that was a proper call. He knew that he was under duress from Goolsby and Cocroft, and rather than take a potential safety, he threw the football away. So they lose the yardage and the down. So it is 3rd down now. The football at the 7 yard line. 9:53 left to go in this one. And the Bobcats will get ready for the home opener next week against Sacred Heart. And the last report, Sacred Heart was getting thrashed by Richton. 3rd down and forever for the Cobras. Single receivers each way. Low snap. Sims wants to run it himself and does. He's tripped up at about the 15-yard line. I think making the tackle over there was Ashanti Cocroft. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe.
13-yard line.
4th down and 11, and the punting unit comes in. Boy, Uncle Ernie has been busy. Has been busy tonight on the text line. Snap back. The Bobcats will not rush it at all. Hope that this takes a Sumrall bounce. It actually takes a Bobcat bounce, but even a Cobra bounce rather. But even so, the Bobcats will have it inside Cobra territory. Down here at about the 46-yard line. I want to thank all of our sponsors for making our webcasts possible. Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic is committed to the care and well-being of your child from birthplace to adolescence. Children's Clinic is open daily and offers immunizations, monitors your child's growth and development, and treats a wide range of childhood illnesses. 601-261-3500. That's 601-261-3500, or you can check them out on the web at hattiesburgclinic.com. Bobcats to work. Tyreek Preston over left tackle, following up some guys in front of him and weaving through traffic and gets down to about the 30-yard line. Nice job that he didn't get too aggressive there, Billy. Let the blockers find their way downfield, and the Cobras want to talk it over. Timeout on the field with 9:02 left to go in the game. Sumrall hanging precariously to a 12-8 lead. Again, coming up, the Dandy Dans in Sumrall and Bellevue offensive and defensive players of the game. You know you get to vote in that, don't you?
Do I?
Yes, you do. So we'll get you an official ballot.
Who got it last week?
Nigel Coleman and Dennis Jackson. Nigel Coleman defensively and Dennis Jackson on the offensive side of the ball. And the Dandy Dans folks said if it's always going to the same guys, try to work it around a little bit, you know. So with that in mind, you could make a good argument tonight for Cole Daniels defensively and Tyreek Preston offensively. I would think that they'll get their share of votes. But the Cocrofts have also played very well tonight.
Solomon Landrum, too.
Yes, Solly Landrum defensively. Justice Hanberry, his name's been called quite a bit tonight. 2nd down. Or check it, it's first. No, it is a first down. First down play after the big run there by Preston. The nose of the football is at the 30-yard line. You see everything in high def right there on your screen. 1st and 10. Jackson will keep it himself, waits for the blocking to set up, is able to get a yard or two forward before he was tripped up on the play by Colin McGowan, the freshman linebacker. Gain of 2 brings up a 2nd down and 8. The youth football jamboree for Lamar County is tomorrow at Oak Grove High School, as the Tiny Mites, rookies, peewees, and midgets all get to play tomorrow. I guess in order, it's Tiny Mites, rookies, midgets, and peewees. Hand off to Cocroft. Sweep left side. Cocroft down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. He has to get to the 22. So a 3rd down and 2 coming up. And the longer the Sumrall Bobcats can grind this out on the ground, the less time the Cobras will have on the clock to mount any type of comeback. So again, 3rd and 2. Jackson looks to the sideline, as do the rest of the members of the Bobcat team. Wing left is Tate Davis. Tate Davis has played well tonight. Also on that right side in the ball game, James Ford, he's a freshman. There's the handoff left side to Preston. Close to first down yardage, Derek Freeman, the defensive end, made the play on the tackle there. 4th down and inches. So where's the beef, as the old Wendy's commercial used to say? Here comes Solly Landrum. And that can only mean one thing, the heavy package here. And now whistles blow on the far sideline. So we might be in for another delay. Who needs rain and lightning?
For sure.
An official timeout. The referees don't even want the players up on the football.
It's like it might be the Heat timeout for this half.
This early?
This quarter.
Normally it's between 5 and 6 minutes. And, oh, they're going to measure it. They're going to measure. It's the Oak Grove might have gotten the first down.
You have a join for the winning ticket.
And again, that's okay. We just want to kind of know.
$5.
Why the whistle has been blown.
4637. Again, 8494637.
And the nose of the football does extend beyond the chains. So it is a first down for the Sumrall Bobcats. So no need for the heavy package. As the measurement gives the Bobcats a 1st and 10. So they move the chains. Shannon White now most likely will change the play call with 7:12 left to go in the game. Sumrall has been effective running the ball. Dennis Jackson has been just a little bit frisky on some of the pass patterns tonight. On a first down, they try the right side. Preston can't find anything. Tries to dart back to the inside and nothing doing there. No gain on the play. A 2nd down and 10 coming up. One of the Cobras slow to slither back to his feet. And that's Damian Smith, but he's ready to go on a 2nd down and 10. Nigel Coleman checks into the ball game for Sumrall. Primerica Financial Services, sponsors of our local scores and district scores. We thank them for their support. Dandy Dan's Chevron and Bellevue and Sumrall. Stacy Clark Temple, your State Farm agent. Dennis Jackson on the direct snap. The quarterback keeper around left end. Tries to cut it inside. Jackson pushed out at about the 5. Is where it looked like from here. But I think maybe they'll put him out at the 7-yard line, but it's a 1st and goal now for Sumrall with 6:17 left to go in the game. Cronin to the near side of the field down here. You see him in man-to-man coverage. On a 1st and goal from the 7. Jackson gives it to Preston. Preston continues to churn his feet. No, that's Nigel Coleman. Nigel Coleman churning his legs, getting down to about the 2-yard line. Preston probably getting a rest here now. Is Nigel Coleman a lot more fresh? As far as running the ball goes, it's a gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down and goal at the 2. But we are now south of 6 minutes left to go in the game. Two receivers to the far side of the field. Jackson gives it to Coleman on the counter. Coleman into the end zone. That's a Bobcat touchdown. Nigel Coleman on the counter play the other direction.
Once again, the winning ticket number is 8.
And the Bobcats hit pay dirt on the ground.
Come to the top by the concession stand.
And we'll try to add the extra point.
This is their last chance.
The Sumrall Band with the fight song in the stands along the far side. And the cheerleaders running with their flags that spell out the word cats.
With Zane Berry out, Cruz Freeman is going to get the hold right here.
Cruz Freeman, one of those talented freshmen. The placement is down, the kick is up, and it hits the left upright, but did the whistle blow ahead of time? It did not. The kick is no good.
Looks like a good hold by Cruz, just mishit a little bit.
Cruz Digger Freeman with the hold. Him and Marshall Phillips, a couple of freshmen that contributed significantly last week. 18-8, Sumrall leads it now with 5:32 left to go in the game. Next week, the Cobras will play Bogachita, which Bogachita is not very far from here at all, on the south side of the 84 highway. And as we mentioned, the Bobcats will return home to play Sacred Heart next week. Well, you learned tonight in our Stacy Clark Temple State Farm Rock and Roll Trivia question that the Eagles' greatest hits album from 71 to 75 is the new top-selling album of all time.
I actually had somebody text me after I couldn't find that answer. And they told me that it was the Eagles.
So your friends knew it was the Eagles, but you didn't.
But I did.
Glenn Fry, one of the singers of the Eagles, passed away a year or so ago. And I think one other of the Eagles has passed away. But good music always stands, whether or not the band members are still around. I saw where Steve Perry, you know who he used to sing for?
Don't tell me. I'll get it.
Okay.
I'll get it in a
All
minute.
right. Billy, you got to know Steve Perry. Come on now. One of the best lead singers of all time. Starts with a J.
Journey?
Yes, very good. Very good. Steve Perry has a new album out. As Bryson Smith kicks this one away, we'll try to follow it for you here on the camera. Fumbled back at the 18-yard line. Ball was still on the ground and getting away from everyone. Bryson Smith, can he get him? He cannot. Oh, my. Streaking down the sideline and into the end zone. It's another kickoff return.
As you can guess, there'll be a lot of work put in at practice this week on the kickoffs, not letting people return it like that. Because, like you said earlier, one happened last week too.
So 3 kickoff returns in 2 games. The Bobcats a bit porous on special teams and kickoff returns.
So the typical kick for the Cobras is Cone.
Cone on to try to kick the extra point to get them within 3. Of course, the field goal would just tie it then if they're able to execute this extra point. The Sumrall defense has not given up a point all year. The kick is good.
The kick is good. With 5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the game.
So with 5:14 left to go, it is 18-15.
15.
But it's the Sumrall special teams that have given up the points so far this year. So the Sumrall offense now will be asked to respond because it's not a touchdown even to tie this game. It's just a field goal. And that really breathes new life and enthusiasm into this Cobra team. So we'll see how the Bobcats respond here. As Gabe Cocroft back to return this kick of Seth Cone.
Cone back deep to receive for the Bobcats is Cocroft.
Cocroft, the lone receiver back there.
Gotta expect the onside kick right now.
Oh, it's certainly a possibility. Camera angle, you'll be able to see what happens here. As Cone waiting for the whistle to kick it away. And they kick it, kind of an intermittent catch, but once in high school, once your knee hits the ground, whether you're touched or not, you are ruled down.
Bobcats get their drive, 1st and 10 from their own.
So here comes the Bobcat offense with 5:14 left to go. And the offensive and defensive players of the game, sponsored by Dandy Dan's and Bellevue and Sumrall. That's still to come. The Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show where Billy Garrity will give you his thoughts on the game, what the Bobcats did well, what they didn't do well, and those have so far been pretty easy to detect tonight. And then where the Bobcats go from here. Looking to go 2-0, 1st and 10. Dennis Jackson at quarterback. Gets a perfect snap, fakes it to Preston, will run it himself. Tries the right side, then ducks it inside for maybe a gain of 2. The best thing in that play was the fact that it keeps the clock moving. As we now are inside of 5 minutes left to go in the game, Sumrall clinging by their nails to a 3-point lead. And you can hear the Cobras below us here. They are back in this game. Second down. Right in the middle part of the field. Jackson again, this time he hits Preston, and he's hit in the backfield. And maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. He was knocked down by Cade Lowry. One of the Cobras is down, however. But getting back up is Malik Clay. Malik is a senior over there on the defensive line. But he'll come out and kind of work that cramp out. And replacing him will be Matthew Holliday. Holliday was shaken up earlier, but back into the game. 3rd down and 10 for Sumrall. The Bobcats have only been able to burn about 30 seconds. Big play coming up for Big Blue. On 3rd down, Jackson will run it. The far side of the field cuts it inside. Down he goes after a gain of only about 4, but another flag comes down.
He's taking down about more. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like he's signaling for holding. Like you said earlier, if it's on the opposite side of the field where it has nothing to do with the play, sometimes like why even call it?
Well, they'll decline it, will the Cobras, obviously, because although if they accepted the penalty, it would push Sumrall further back. But right now, the Cobras just want the football and as much time available as possible. So Phillips back at the 21-yard line to kick it away. Here comes pressure, and Phillips is in trouble. He throws the ball toward the sideline. Incomplete. So the Cobras will get the football.
Going to be a flag on 52.
There is a flag on the far side 62. Of the field, but once.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna.
Once he gets
worse field position.
Yeah, once he gets out of a kicking position, then he becomes fair game. He becomes a runner there. So if they try to say that Phillips was roughed,
I think it's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty. He kind of walked up over him.
Well, we'll see here. This is a very pivotal call coming up for Sumrall. Uncle Roger's watching big time from up in Washington, D.C. and in Baltimore. Says, extend his best wishes to you. So we're still trying to sort this out. We have not had any word as to what this penalty is. And actually...
I think he gave it unsportsmanlike.
Against the Cobras, but will they have the football?
They will.
Okay, so they will have the football. They'll just have it a little bit further back than they thought they would. So I think both teams are in need of a little special teams attention this next week. Huge defensive series, the biggest one of the season, without a doubt, coming up for Sumrall. 18-15. It's a 3-point lead with 3:59 left to go. As the Bobcats look to go 2-0 in a season where, let's be honest, a lot is expected. 1st and 10. The Cobras with a full head of momentum and steam. With Antrell Sims at quarterback. And now a timeout is called by the Cobras. We're trying to get you some more scores in the waning minutes of this ball game. A lot of scoreboard shows across the state will hit the airwaves at about 10 o'clock. And on some of those, you'll hear my report of this ball game. And Zane Berry went down with about 5 minutes left to go before the first half ended, and he has not returned, will not return. Carson Duck not in the lineup tonight for Sumrall, but Cronin back in the lineup. And that's the way it is when some guys are out. Other guys have got to, as they say, step up. But this defense of Sumrall, which has stood the test of time so far in this early season, is going to be called upon again to carry the blue and white banner. 1st and 10. Sims with an empty backfield. Now he's got a man in motion. Sims, they pitch it. Coming to the near side with the carry is Shamar Dickerson, but he was hit almost immediately. And guess what? A penalty flag.
It should be holding on. Looks like he wrestled Devin Goolsby to the ground right there. So hard not to call a penalty.
As we are moving toward the 10 o'clock hour now.
Hold it against the Cobras.
In a game that started at 7. So that tells you how many penalties and excessive time, used up in the game from teams that have run the ball a lot. It is against the Cobras. So the Cobras running in circles here and actually going backwards. 1st down and about 20 with 3:50 left to go in the game. The Sumrall defense, Coach Fortenberry over there calling the calls for this Sumrall defense. Goolsby, whose shoulder has not given him any trouble so far this year. Sims wants to throw, puts the ball up in the air. This ball is incomplete. Incomplete. Nigel Coleman was there ready to try to pluck it out of midair. He just couldn't come down with it. The intended receiver was Shamar Dickerson.
Brings up 2nd down and 20 for the Cobras from their own.
So 2nd down and about 20. That stops the clock. All the Cobras need to tie this game, obviously, is a field goal. They have an experienced senior field goal kicker in Seth Cohn. But you'd have to get down to about the 26-yard line in order to give him a legitimate chance. 2nd down. They want to throw. Quick pass. The ball is tipped and incomplete. You might have thought that Cocroft got there a little early on Shamar Dickerson, but once the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, all bets are off on that play. You can get the guy. 3rd down and about 20. So the Sumrall defense asked one more play here. And you'd have to think that they'd go for it on 4th down, Billy, either way, with very little time left. So essentially 2-down territory with 20 yards to cover. Sims wants to throw again. Lofts this one up in the air. This ball is incomplete. Incomplete. Dennis Jackson was back there in the secondary to make the play. It looked initially like the Cobras did come up with a play, and there's some jawing going on over there in the corner. Damian Smith was the intended receiver. But a penalty marker down. So will they whistle the bob? Look out now. They're trying to pull Damian Smith. The Cobras are pulling Damian Smith out of there. It's unsportsmanlike against both teams. They will offset. And Damian Smith, as we mentioned, the Cobras went and pulled him out of the huddle. The Bobcats, I think, did a really good job kind of keeping their cool there when there was a polecat in the hen house, as so to speak.
Brings up 4th down and 20 for the
4th down and 20.
Yard line.
And it looks like they'll punt it away.
3 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the game.
At least they'll set up to kick it away. We'll see. And the Sumrall band and fans that have traveled here, you can see them along the far sideline, cheering, trying to inspire the Roll Cats here. Nope, they're going to go for it on 4th down. And the Cobra offense in total disarray here. They'll have to burn a timeout. And Billy, it looked like, because Connor Diamond is the punter, and he stood back there, and it looked like to me that he was standing back there ready to receive a long snap. And then you see Antrell Sims walk up there, the quarterback, like he was going to run a play. But it was the Cobras that appeared more confused than the Bobcats. So if this play isn't the ball game, it's pretty doggone close to it. Sumrall by a field goal with 3:31 left to go. But just about every way that you can score tonight has happened. A regular touchdown, a couple of kickoffs for touchdowns, a safety, an extra point. Not saying which team got what, but I mean just about every way you can score, the teams have. And it's still only 18-15. So they are in punt formation now, it would appear. And they will pooch kick it to the sideline. Bobcats will leave it alone, and it's down at the 40. I thought maybe what they were going to do is kind of see, you know, if Sumrall defended it, and if not, maybe take off. And if they didn't have to get 20 yards, Billy, they might have done that. So now the Cobra defense will be called upon to try to get the ball back, and Sumrall will try to burn this clock and get out of here with win number 2 on the 2018 campaign. 1st and 10 for Sumrall at the 40, its own 40. The Bobcats working south to north. I would say left to right on your radio dial, but we are very much in HD here on TV. 1st and 10. Under center this time. Cocroft is the quarterback, hands it to Nigel Coleman over left tackle for about 3. And we got a Bobcat down here on the near side. That's John Failer, but he gets up. John is a senior on that offensive line. John's not very tall, but very spirited and strong. I actually was talking with Shannon White this week, and he said, you know, really our team overall is not very tall.
We don't have a very tall team.
But quickness is the strength of this Sumrall team, and guys that can really sniff out the football on the defensive side. 2nd down, clock moving with 2:42, and here go the flags. The Bobcats were whistled for lining up offsides. So 2nd down, still a 2nd down, and about 12. Is there a curfew in Wesson as to what time we have to be out of here tonight?
If there was one, we'd probably be past it by the time we left.
Pushing it for sure. 2:42 left to go. Again, Cocroft at quarterback. Under center. Hands off to Coleman, who plunges across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, which was like the original line of scrimmage.
Right side for a short game. Brings up 3rd down and about 9 for the Bobcats.
Mike could have looked to broke that to the outside right there.
Well, the problem you would have with going outside then is the only way you might have to end the play is to get out of bounds, and that would stop the clock.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that.
2:13, the clock melting. But a big 3rd down play coming up for the Bobcats as they're protecting a 3-point lead. Cocroft in at quarterback, heavy package in for Sumrall. Handoff. Right side, penalty flags down. Coleman dragging people with him up to about the 50-yard line. He was short of the 1st down. And I know that you'll want to alert the media when I tell you that a flag was thrown. Am I exaggerating, Billy? But there was 25 to 30 flags here tonight. I mean, honestly.
Around that area. Definitely over 20.
And it just totally takes teams out of sync. And I say the same things in basketball. When referees, when there's a whistle every 5 seconds for a foul, people don't pay to watch guys shoot free throws. It is a hold against Sumrall. And this will march them back even further. But we are inside of 2 minutes. I think if I'm the Cobras, I decline that play. I think if I'm the Cobras, I decline it because now Sumrall can burn about another minute in play clock. Other teams in the region, as we check the Primerica scoreboard, Poplarville was winning. Greene County was winning. The Aggies of Forest County were losing, and Lawrence County was losing. Well, if Greene County held on to beat George, that'd be something. Now the referee down here, in the corner of your picture, he blows the whistle again.
Looks like he's on the phone with somebody.
Goodness gracious me.
Is that
or a walkie-talkie of some kind. It sure looks like it.
Could be talking to the guys up in the press box
to get the time clock right. But again, this is very disconcerting if you're a player and want to, for both teams, if you want to get into some kind of rhythm, and you just can't because the referees are stopping the game all the time, either for flags or not for flags. And again, it's the same for both teams, but it's just tough to get in a rhythm. Third down and a new zip code for Sumrall. With 1:52 is where they say the clock is. Cocroft at quarterback. Now they shift to the right. Dive play to the first man through. And now the Cobras burn a timeout as the ball carrier there was Ashanti Cocroft.
Number 22 around the left side for a short gain for the Bobcats. Bring up 4th down to about 15 for the Bobcats from their own 34.
So the punting unit will come in for Sumrall. The offense has sputtered tonight for Big Blue. Now, Billy Garrity, if you're a coach for the Cobras, you got to bring pressure here, don't you, against Payne Phillips?
Try to get a block punt almost like they did last time.
But the way that the Cobras have returned kicks tonight, the last thing you want to do is let them return one. And I'm sure that Phillips has been told, get the ball toward the sideline to where coverage could be there to pin him in or not give him a chance to return it at all. Perfect snap. Phillips gets it away. They'll let him return it to the 40. Cuts back to the 45, the 50. Inside Sumrall territory. Almost broke one, but down at the 45-yard line. Making the tackle for Sumrall was Tate Davis. So here we go. And you figure with their experienced kicker, they need about 15 yards to give him a chance with 1:35 left to go in the game. Can the Sumrall defense come up big again? And you know that this defense is good a condition as it's in as a unit. They've got to be running pretty close to empty here because the defense for Sumrall has been called on a lot tonight to clean up a couple of messes. Sumrall leads by 3 with 1:35 left to go. Back in at quarterback is the sophomore Antrell Sims. He's got Damian Gibson and Dickerson. Dickerson to the near side. Gibson to the far side. Wants to throw. Does down the sideline. This pass is incomplete. There was some incidental contact kind of down the line, but they were both going for the football. Good no call by the officials. Incomplete, second down.
Looked like there were guys that were in motion before the ball was snapped looked like they weren't set. They weren't set. Could have been some kind of false start.
It was Darian Gibson who was in motion to that far side, and I guess that was how they ruled it, was that he was in motion. You hear the Sumrall fans cheering on its defense. You hear the Cobra fans cheering on the offense. 2nd down and 10. Sims, little short pass here, hit in the backfield by Damian Smith. He gets away from one man and then steps out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. For the record, he needs to get to the 35. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 with 1:23 left to go. Now remember, they've got to get to about the 27 just to give Seth Cohn a legitimate field goal chance. And a field goal is all they would need to send it to overtime. 3rd down and 7. The Sumrall fans on their feet. Rolling to his right. Sims to throw across the middle, tipped and knocked down by Goolsby. Goolsby got a hand on it and knocked it away. So 4th down. So this pretty much is the ball game coming up here.
14, bringing up 4th down.
Nice play by Devin Goolsby, who just, his job as a linebacker is to read that quarterback, and when it became apparent that Sims was going to throw the ball, he gravitated to the closest receiver and guessed right and batted the ball away just before it got to Shamar Dickerson. 4th down and 7 for the Cobras. This is it for Sumrall. Throw across the middle. This pass is incomplete. No flag. Dennis Jackson was in coverage. Concroft was in coverage. The Sumrall defense has held, and the Bobcat offense will come on to try to put the icing on this victory cake.
12 seconds remaining in the game.
Let me tell you something, folks. This Sumrall defense can play. The Bobcats have called timeout. They want to make sure that everybody's talking the same language here in this last minute 12. The last thing you want to do is make a mistake deep in your own territory here and give the ball back to the Cobras. Again, coming up, our Dandy Dan's offensive and defensive players of the game. And then the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic postgame show, telling you where the Bobcats are headed and kind of a recap of what happened tonight. Concroft was at quarterback.
12 seconds remaining in the game. The Bobcats ball, 1st and 10 from their own 43.
But Dennis Jackson is back in there, and he's got a man deep in case of an errant snap.
Jackson takes the knee.
So Dennis just takes the knee and starts to look at the clock as it dwindles away. Inside of a minute left to go. It appears the Bobcats are going to get out of here with a win. And believe me, start the getaway buses. Let's get on here and get out of here. And the Bobcats will return home next Friday night for the home opener against Sacred Heart, who was just getting crushed by Richton tonight. For the record, 2nd down and 11, but who cares at this point? They're not going to run any plays. Jackson will take another knee. They might have to snap it one more time, but I don't think they will. They just now start the play clock, and there's only 12 seconds left on the game clock, 19 on the to snap the ball, and they don't have to. The Sumrall Bobcats. This one came down to the very last play of the game. Sumrall has done it. They have beaten Wesson 18-15, kind of an unusual final score for football. But the score doesn't matter as much as the W does. And the Bobcats go 2-0 on the year. Now, Billy, your thoughts in this game, and I know you're going to bring up special teams.
I guess I could start off by saying a win's a win, but pretty sloppy. Definitely sloppy on special teams. Penalties there was a lot of penalties. I know it was kind of outrageous at some points, but just not a very clean play game, but a win's a win. So.
And I'm sure that they will work on, punt and kickoff returns, because really when you look at the points that Sumrall's given up this year, they've all been on punt returns or kickoff returns. So the defense, nobody has really put any points on the board on this defense, but rather because of special teams. So it's time to name our Dandy Dan's Chevron offensive and defensive players of the game. And Tyreek Preston gets the nod offensively. Tell me about the type of game you thought he played tonight, Billy.
Oh, I think they called his name a lot.
Especially in the first half, man. He was working really hard.
I think he handled it good. Not very many breaks for him throughout the game, but I think he handled it really good. He played hard. He hit his holes hard. Just never stopped running.
I'm hoping he's okay, because I did not see him in the second half a whole lot, if at all. Cocroft and Coleman got a lot of the carries in the second half when Dennis wasn't running the ball. So we certainly hope that Tyreek is okay, and he wins the offensive player of the game by Dandy Dan's Chevron in Sumrall, your go-to one-stop shop. Open at 6 a.m. and they're right across the street from the middle school. They always, like the Sumrall defense, won't let you down. So Tyreek Preston, the offensive player of the game. And on defense, could have called a lot of names, including Daniels, but Solomon Landrum got the win tonight on the defensive side of the ball. If it's something that really goes unnoticed sometimes is leadership. And that Solomon Landrum is the guy that really kind of lights a fire under everybody else on that side of the ball, yes?
I agree, he does.
What did you think about the way he played tonight?
I think he played hard just like Tyreek did. I think he made a lot of stops in the backfield. He played on offense too, but on defense I think he played good, hard.
And on tackles that weren't solo tackles, he made the initial hit and then waited for the cavalry to come and help him.
He was involved in a lot of tackles.
I mentioned Cole Daniels defensively. Devin Gouldsby with a big play that he batted down the ball there at the end of the game. Almost had a safety at this other end of the field. So congratulations to the Dandy Dan's Chevron offensive and defensive players of the game. Tyreek Preston on offense and Solomon Landry on defense. Time for the Hattiesburg Clinic Children's Clinic post-game show. Hattiesburg Clinic is committed to the care and well-being of your child from birth to adolescence. You can call 261-3500 to schedule an appointment. Children's Clinic, part of Hattiesburg Clinic, care you need for the children you love. And Dr. April Gilmore, who used to be April McGilvery at Sumrall High School, proud to be a sponsor of Sumrall Bobcat football. So on the post-game show, again, the Bobcats go 2-0 on the season. Of course, these don't count when it comes to the playoffs, but it sure does tell you when you have these closely played games that your team can make the plays and respond when they need to. And the defense came up again big tonight, and the offense sputtered a little bit. And again, but some key components, including Zane Berry going down before halftime and not returning. We certainly hope that he'll be back next week, but those are things that sometimes you have to deal with, and the offense will have to get back to the drawing board and figure out what it didn't do so well tonight. And credit the Cobras, who only really had about a quarter and a half under their belt this year because of the storms last week. Played very well defending the field here at Colin, but Sumrall emerges with an 18-15 victory. Sumrall returns home next Friday night, the home opener, and we hope there will be a huge crowd at Sumrall as the Bobcats host Sacred Heart and look to go 3-0 on the year. The final again from Colin. Sumrall, your Bobcats 18, the Cobras of Wesson 15. Wesson drops to 1-1. The Bobcats go to 2-0. For executive producer Jeremy Thompson and color analyst big time Billy Garrity, I'm Kelly Sander. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Sumrall Bobcat football.